For me, I can just tell you what I think, but hey, what does Zoe know? You know what I mean? So, and which one? You switch us up?
Nah, I'm gonna move it to you.
I gotta watch your ass.
Nah, brother.
You gonna do me like that?
I put it right next to you. That way it wouldn't be no confusion.
Been trying to get your ass coming for a minute now.
I know it. That's why I say. That's the my wife. She tried to watch got that like, nah, babe, I gotta go. She wanted to go there. I said, nope. I already got a prior commitment to Zoe. I'm leaving.
Kenny Mac. So when you out and about, what you go about? What you go about? What's the personality name you out there with? What you call yourself?
Lately, I've been saying Kenny Wayne.
Kenny Wayne.
Yeah, Kenny Wayne.
Kenny
yeah,
Wayne.
Yeah, Kenny Wayne.
Remind me
Yeah.
of Country Wayne. You sound country as hell. Wayne. That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
You ain't out there trying to tell people, give advice and all that type of shit, is you?
Well, it depends on some days, yeah. The love doctor. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Kenny Wayne, aka the love doctor.
Oh my God, the love doctor.
Yeah, the love doctor.
Don't fuck around me like that old boy Derek Jackson.
Well, it's different. I ain't bashing nobody.
You ain't bashing him?
No, I'm telling. I'm giving you game from a perspective of once something has happened, how to move forward, or in the event you get in a relationship, how to move, prestigiously through it without any confrontations.
Somebody gonna take offense to that.
Well, I mean that's regardless. That's life.
You know what I'm saying? Because even with everybody's bashing on Derek, and I'm like, when I first heard him, I started listening to him a couple years ago. I'm listening to him, and I'm like, man, he's talking so much shit about dudes. Right
Correct.
now. And because I was in a different mentality back then, I'm like, he fucking the whole game up. We can't get shit over on these hoes, and he giving it away.
Well, yes, another.
I didn't want to hear it then. But then, as I began to change how I was doing things, the way I was moving, I could start appreciating this conversation. I start putting it in terms of, if I had a daughter, would I want her knowing these things in order to get through?
Okay.
I mean, because the only people that wouldn't like the advice he's giving is the ones who's trying to pull it off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my first child is a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I had a, you know what I'm saying? So I look at it just from a perspective. and I try to tell people this. We have to get away from gender-specific roles or gender-specific attributes or behaviors. It's a humanistic behavior.
But there are differences between male and female and how we think, the way we move around. They're just behaviors and mannerisms that are attributed to specific genders and things you can expect. Like you can hear certain things and know and be like, that sounds like a girl, or that sounds like a guy did that.
On average.
Yeah. On average.
But you also got to think our age contributes to our thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But as time has progressed, women and men have, in some degree, switched roles because not having a male figure, not having uncles or any type of male, dad, uncles, granddad, some type of male in your life. Your grandmother, aunties raised them. So you see a lot of these guys out here now. They have a lot of
real emotional ones.
Yeah, female attributes.
And I've noticed
and
that too.
vice versa. The woman being the head is teaching the woman, the girl, to be strong and allowing or disallowing the guy or the young male she's raising to be a man. The female now, she does everything. Him, oh, that's my baby. He plays the game. He don't wash his clothes. He don't clean. He don't do anything. He's sitting around waiting for a woman to take care of him. You transfer that to when he's an adult, it's the same behavior.
And that's what I tell people. I said we're all running around here. We're just older kids.
That's it.
The
behavior's the same. It just looks different. A tantrum is a tantrum. You see a kid 5 fall out, they cry, but you see the same thing from a male and a female, but they cussing. It's still a tantrum. Yeah, they didn't get their way, and so they acting out, only to come back later and do what? Apologize. Because now you're not as emotional as you were doing the time.
If they're mature enough to even apologize.
Yeah.
Some people
Well,
do
they still come back and apologize some way. it doesn't always say I'm sorry.
I know some people that won't ever say
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry about nothing.
Yeah. Well,
Now,
well.
like I said what I said. I did
Well, they
what I
saying
did.
they sorry about coming back being nice. They just say, hey, you want to go out to eat? Or hey, let's go get a drink.
That's them brushing under the rug, so you don't.
Well, it's the same concept.
You gotta
though.
think about it.
It's the same concept of saying I'm sorry, because even if I say I'm sorry, I still want you to do the same thing with that behavior. Brush it under the rug and don't think about it.
Hold on. So,
Instead of dealing with it.
hold on. So if I'm a bully and I'm beating on your ass,
Well, that's different.
no, I'm just saying. But then every day I see you, I didn't hit you. And then other days I'm hanging out with you. Have I apologized?
Nope.
But I'm still trying to do the same normal
Correct.
stuff.
Because I'm still wanting you to accept the behavior and just move
Right,
forward.
right. That's what I'm saying.
Correct.
Then
We
You
agree.
don't want to apologize for it.
Yeah.
They want you to just keep on.
Correct. Correct. It's the same thing. Hey, let's go get a drink. Hey, let's go get something to eat. I just cussed Chad last night. It's the same thing.
Still a funky bitch.
You know what I'm saying? I still bullied you in something. You know what I'm saying? Because the word bully, when you look, it's just a transfer of power.
Mhm.
That's how the term bully came from. It's just a transfer of power. It doesn't necessarily mean I had to hit you. That's just, once again, it's our ideology from our age group. We look at bullying as physical.
Mhm.
But
I
there's
mean, well,
mental.
I mean, we know that from the internet bullying.
Correct.
Which it's hard for me to get how you get bullied
Well-
on the internet, because you have to go on the internet to get bullied or pay attention.
Well, they do, because it's groupthink. It's from a psychological groupthink where no one wants to be outed by the group. So it's
Mhm.
better for me to remain inside the group.
And accept whatever's in there.
Correct, because I want the popularity. I want, you know, the communication. You know, if it's 4 of us hanging out, 3 of us are friends. You're not my friend. I'm not gonna stop hanging out with the group. I'm just not gonna socialize with you when I'm not with the group.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I'm still hanging out with everybody. We see it all the time.
Yeah, we all by nature have tribal instincts.
Correct.
We want to be, you want to be part of the tribe.
We want to be part of the group. Yeah, it's just who we are. You know, as a people, and we're very. I just went blank. When you do something all the time,
What?
you just do it. And you just do it. You don't really know why you're doing it.
He's just subconsciously doing it.
Habit.
No,
We're habit. We're creatures of
That
habit.
was the easiest fucking word to.
Yeah. I just went blank. I ain't say I didn't know the word. It just slipped my. Yeah, we just do it. It's just a habit. We doing it, and we don't even know why you do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing in relationships. You see people out, and they say, I don't know why I keep falling for the same guy. Or I keep going for the same girl. Because it's the habit. You used to dealing with, you met him at the club. Y'all was kicking, y'all was drinking. But when you transfer that type of relationship to outside the club, it doesn't always coexist the same way.
It don't work because
Yeah.
that ain't the environment you in 24/7.
Correct. But people don't understand that.
Mhm.
They just, oh, well, they were that way for that particular time frame, but that's not actually who they were.
Yeah, your day to day is gonna change dramatically.
It does.
Well, again,
It should.
It should, because you have to understand. A lot of times when people are out there out and about, most of the time you're actually seeing that what they call a representative.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Some people you see the genuine them. Like when I go out, when they meet me from day one to whenever years later, I'm the same person they met from day one.
Correct.
I don't try to be a different person, because you're either going to accept who I am or you're not going to accept it. But we tend to find ourselves, meeting people, and the first impression that we got of them isn't ultimately what they actually are.
Correct.
And then you try to reconcile, like, okay, am I accepting what I'm seeing now, or because time has gone by, have I gained some type of sentimental value for that person, to the point where now I feel a particular way being around them, so I don't want to break that bond.
Well, it's both. Because you see the good in them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what outweighs some of the bad. And so I've created this thing. I say, is it principle over title? Or is it title over principle? Because people say, if you do this, I won't do this. But your mother, father, brother, they all cheated you. They've lied to you. But you still do talk to them.
It's unconditional with them.
Correct. So therefore, it's title over the principle.
Mhm.
But with someone else, you can make it the principle over the title. Oh, he cheated. Oh, he lied. Oh, he did
I
whatever.
don't care who it is.
Correct. If it truly
What
was,
the label is,
it would be the
because
principle
this is what you stand on.
over the title. Correct.
Mhm.
So don't keep coming back to me telling me when someone else has done all these other things when you told me if this happened, then this would happen.
Mhm.
Because if that truly was the case, the conversation would be way different.
Way different.
Yeah, than what we're having.
You can't have consequences here
Correct.
and down the other side.
Correct.
You know?
Exactly. Correct. Because then
Mixed messages.
everybody else you say keep it real, but in the end, you're really not keeping it real. You know, if you want to look at it like that.
And it's guys like that when they see chicks out and about, chicks that they know about from other situations
Correct.
that they know around town, and then when you go to them, try to treat them the same way that they've been displaying that they get treated, and all of a sudden it's different. Like, oh, I got to be your man.
Yeah.
5 of my boys been hit on the first night. Now all of a sudden I got to have a relationship with you?
Correct.
No. But you better take that. You better back off.
But you gotta swing the bat the way the ball comes. Everybody don't get a fast ball. It's gonna be a switch up. It's gonna be, the pitch is out. It's gonna be different. Some is a curve. It's a screw. You know what I'm saying? That's a knuckle. You know what I'm saying? On those days, hey, she was pitching a fastball. She ain't pitching fastballs tonight, baby. she pitching a slider because you have more benefits to fit the slot. They didn't. She saw them for what it actually was.
Mm-hmm.
But my question always been to any guy that has that same conversation or approaches, well, what will make you want to hit a chick that 4 or 5 years of homeboys didn't hit?
That's that edge, man. That's that.
You think so?
That animal mentality, you know. Like most men, they just want to conquer. They just want, they want to get that carnal.
I've never understood that.
You never understood somebody just want to hit something?
No, after 4 or 5, my boy, no, I don't.
You've hit women that 4 or 5 dudes have hit.
Not that I know.
Okay, so now there's a label now again.
No, I ain't label.
Now you got friends that did it, but they weren't friends. It'd be different.
It would be.
See?
Well, that's different though.
Well, the principle is
she
had sex with somebody.
No, that never was my principle. The principle was 4 or 5 guys I know was the principle.
And they all told you it was good. You like
regardless. Oh, guess what? There. 10-9 went down. Yeah. The same car you drive, I don't drive.
Hold on. So
I'm a night boy.
What's your limit? What's your homeboy limit? 1, 2, 3.
It depends on. Nah, it depends on, like you say, where we going with it. Like if it's talking about my girl, 1, based on a time period.
Okay.
Any more than that, nah.
Can't
But
do
if it's just some you know, some fun on some, laissez-faire, 2.
Would you feel bad that you ran up on somebody, and then later on after one of your homeboys figured out that you did that, like, oh man, y'all did that?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't feel bad?
But
now you're in the same predicament though.
But I wouldn't feel bad because I didn't know. It's only when you're going into
Well, I wouldn't say you feel bad in the first place. You wouldn't
but would the relationship change?
Yeah.
Of course it would. Yeah.
With your homeboys or with her?
With her. That's my boy. You know what I'm saying?
So you was really liking her, and you were talking to her for a couple months. Everything was cool. You know what I'm saying? And then you realize that she came from a town where you had some other people at, and realized a few of your homeboys were smashed. Yeah. But you was really digging her. You was digging her for who she was.
Correct.
And when they got her, she wasn't on that level. She was kind of fast back then, but then she settled down and she turned into an actual woman that you thought you could respect.
Correct.
But now you find out that 3 or 4 of your homeboys hit. Yeah. Now the situation changed with her. Now all of a sudden you can't look at it the same. You can't respect her.
No, I can look at it the same and I can still respect her, just not being my woman.
So if you was thinking that at first, you got to change gears.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, that's why.
Because of the past.
Yes. But you even utilize the word. Used to, was. Yes, past tense. I thought.
That's what she did back then.
Correct.
And now without knowing that, she's a woman that
wouldn't be mad at all. Because when you hang at, get it in.
Because you got a pass.
I do.
So if you got a pass, does she can look at you and say, I don't want to be with you no more because you had some other people?
You can.
Yeah, you technically can, but you
I'm an equal opportunist. I'm an equal opportunist.
Equal opportunity disser.
No, I'm equal opportunist. No, equal opportunist meaning that
they don't have equal opportunity though.
They do.
No, they don't.
Everyone does.
Once you found out what they did, then all of a sudden the opportunity is gone.
But What I'm saying,
they didn't get the hand.
no. What I'm saying, equal opportunity mean that the same way if I looked at a situation and it no longer fit what I liked or what I preferred, the same thing in your instance. If anything happened or came about that you didn't like or prefer, I can't be any more mad and upset because I agree, I understand.
Is that an ego thing with men?
I don't know.
You know,
That's a good question.
They don't want to have a woman booed up with them, and all of a sudden the homeboys looking. You know they hit. You're looking at them like,
That is a hard pill to swallow. That's a hard pill to swallow, man. It's a hard pill to swallow. I ain't gonna lie to nobody.
Even if it was just one, you still looking.
No, one is cool. Because you know, like you say, everybody got a past. We was young, also growing up in the time. That's why I say I look at everything from decades or time periods as well. You know, growing up, how most of us grew up without fathers. You know, unstable households, single parent households. There's no supervision. You know, you can get away. It could have pretty much done whatever. You know what I'm saying? So to judge you holistically on all that, no. But it's only. I didn't say if you had sex with 10 guys, I wouldn't. That's not it.
What's your number? You got a number?
No, because in the end, I mean, I can't say I don't have a number. The great thing is,
you just came around nothing that you did.
Well, because fortunately, I've been with the same woman over half the time I've been alive.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm facing my 20.
I don't even know what you, man.
No, we still can have a conversation.
We ain't had no conversation.
No, yes we can too, man.
You ain't been out here in these streets.
No, we still can have a conversation. Hey,
you ain't been out here like that, man.
I've never worked at IHOP, but I can make a mean pancake. I ain't never worked a discount time, but I know how to change the time. So you know what I'm saying? So even though I've never experienced a lot of stuff, I have a lot of friends who we've talked about.
You live vicariously
through them. You know what I'm saying? Either way, good or bad. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Me and my wife not facing. We're approaching our 20th anniversary.
It's like it was a jail bid.
Yeah, that's what I say. No, I was gonna say we're facing 20th anniversary. I said not facing. That's what I say. We're approaching. That's a Freudian slip.
Niggas been locked up.
Yeah, we're facing. We're approaching our 20th anniversary, May 19th. Man, I've been married 20 years.
Fortunately.
Yeah,
No hiccups.
Zero. I mean, we've had some. You know what I'm saying? We're human. We start out at 18, 19 years old.
That's a lot of the stories.
Yeah.
Just like your boy Gary Owens.
Yeah.
He's been married almost 20 years.
Correct.
And, you know, he said since they were little, and it came out that he was out there, and his wife she's throwing the tantrum now. She's throwing people under the bus and everything, whether they was involved or not involved.
But that's not even the bigger issue is she knew and he just didn't want to reconcile. One thing I know
you said the wife, she knew. She knew.
Yeah. At some point, because once again we're creatures of habit.
Mm-hmm.
They understand our patterns, just like you understand any person you've been around. You know what their day consists of.
If you're around them with any consistency.
Correct. Well, you're married for 20 years. You're around them consistently. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to know how they move. Certain things have happened. He didn't got caught. And they did whatever. Reconcile the trial. But he continued the behavior. And it just got to a point to where she said, no more.
So you think she just got tired of it?
That's what it was. That's what it was. So, like you talk about that boy.
Y'all just accepting cheating and just working it out.
Well, it's not so much accepting
because
cheating.
you get so many women say, "Hey, well, if he cheat on me, I'm gone. I'm not dealing with
once
that."
Again, principle over title. They say it, but anybody can say what they will and won't do until you're faced with that situation. What you should say is, I hope if this happens, this is what I hope I would do in that situation.
That's what I think it's
because we've all been placed in a situation. We've done something that we said we wouldn't do.
People, they do it to save face too in public.
Yeah.
I've seen women make declarations in front of their people that I knew that they were lying. But
people knew that they was lying.
They talking about family and best friends, and their best friends say, I know what they wouldn't do, and I'm looking at them like, no,
you don't. No one does. Because there's a lot of other things that go on in being in a relationship. Financial is always the biggest one. That's why when you look at Hollywood or superstars or NBA, NFL players, it's different. Rent's due on the first, right? You know how much money you make. You know how much money she makes. You know how much money it takes to run a household. If you had $120 million and you didn't need no one to help you do anything, it's a lot easier to be like, hey, to the left, you better call Tyrone. It's a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
But also you got kids. You have a connection. You are in love. Yeah, those things happen. They did hurt. What you want is reconciliation. You want the thought that this won't happen again.
Yeah, that you can make it work. That you can get through that.
Correct. That we can get past this. Yeah, that's all it is. We're human. When you try to merge two different individuals
and it takes
together,
time. But it does take time to get to that point too.
It does,
because somebody doing that off the bat,
well,
they don't get as much leniency.
Well,
but once you get time invested,
but that's just
you got
it.
something to hold on to.
But it goes both ways. You can't be at a job for 20 years if you've only been there for 2 weeks. It's the same thing in a relationship. The fact that we're in a microwave generation now, we just want, instant gratification.
But you do have women and men who don't accept it no matter how long they've been there.
And that's cool.
But
they don't. But they
don't. Principle.
It is to a degree, but they're cool with being by themselves. It really ain't about the principle.
Yeah, they do fear being alone or starting over.
Correct.
I've seen quite a number of relationships where you can just tell in the energy of the people they're not happy.
Zero.
But it hurts them more to think of starting over or getting to know someone else or just severing that tie that they've had for so long that they'll just deal with it. Whether it changed or not.
But that's what I was gonna say. That's a deeper issue. That's what I'm saying when I said there's layers to this thing, relationship. That's a deeper issue because if you're used to being mistreated, you're used to being psychologically, spiritually, emotionally beat down, or physically, then you just come and accept that this is a part of your life, not knowing that you could change it at any point. Yeah, that's a whole different topic.
Altogether.
Yeah, altogether. Yeah, like we talking about man Derek, Jackson. Why the people are really mad at him or upset at him is just because of his delivery on cheating or infidelity or whatever, as if.
What's wrong with his delivery? He's
just
giving the information.
Well, no, he is, but to say I. So when you make an I statement, you make it personal. Now, if you just said people, if I said people would not care if you got caught and think you shouldn't, that's different. But if I say I don't care or I couldn't be forgiving if you're cheating, you need to do this. But then you turn around and do this.
I don't know.
That's different.
I don't know if I heard him personalize it so much, but
I've seen the same video 5 times. He's in the car
giving reviews.
Yes.
Hold on. Why is he in the car? That always threw me off. That threw me off. I'm like, you happily married. You got your woman for so long. Every video you do, you in your car, as if you can't be in the same space with her saying this stuff.
Yeah.
Spitting the gospel like you're spitting it.
Correct.
And that was always weird. Like,
well, I'm gonna tell you this.
Even when he was in the home, it seemed like he's always by himself. Like
at 5 years old, my mom says this all the time. Probably, but at 5 is when I just remembered and started saying it. A lie ain't nothing for a nigga to tell.
A what?
A lie ain't nothing for a nigga to tell. My mama said it all the time. All the time. That's one of her colloquialisms she used to say all the time. But she used to say this with, like the daily bread. A lie ain't nothing for a nigga to tell.
Ain't that the truth?
It ain't.
Ain't that the truth?
And what people have to get away from, and when I say away from, I'm not saying it to disappoint or upset anything. When people say, you mad, but are you happily mad? Because in any marriage, in anything, it's not going to be happy all the time. It's 365 days in a year.
And you know what? And most guys, even if you happily married, they hoping to catch you at the time when it ain't right then.
Well, correct.
Trying to catch you slipping, catch you weak.
Well, yeah, your ambitions is low. Yeah.
Hey, but like, I mean, we have that kind of detector.
Yeah.
Just like an animal stalking out its prey, like you can tell when they're weak.
When they're weak, yeah. Yeah, but maybe that's the way a con. A con only work 2 ways.
What is it?
Greed and sympathy. That's the only way a con works.
Fill me in on that.
Greed, you think it's something in for you. Sympathy, because you're sympathetic to the game that they spitting. That's the only way a con works. They conning you, man. One of my favorite lines of the night.
So you gotta have both dynamics in it.
Correct.
To make it work.
Well, no, one of the two. It either has to be greed, because if I come to you and it's a money scam, you're greedy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's you too, coming at me with
Well,
a scam.
I'm cunning. I'm the con, so it don't make a difference. You
Okay,
know what I'm
but
saying?
you need one of them elements out of
I
me.
need one of them out of you. I need for you to be sympathetic, or I need for you to be greedy. So when they come to the female that she's weak, she's being sympathetic. That's why one of the chicks, and I don't know which one it was, he is speaking to her regarding his sexual intimacy with his wife in the bedroom. It's saying she.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
You see? Yeah.
That's foul though.
Very.
Oh my God.
He was foul all the way around.
Talking about you.
You know.
And he's probably lying too, but just try to be
Correct.
get her sympathy.
You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm just having a hard time right now.
She's not satisfying me.
She's not. You know, I'm out here working hard. I'm doing everything. She's eating, you know, because when he did it, she was in Colorado visiting her parents. She in there taking pictures, and you know, he didn't brought the chick back to his crib. You know, so and that's why I say I don't condone cheating by no stretch of the imagination. But there's certain things,
especially when we get older. We did
it's
a lot
like-
of reckless stuff when you're younger, but then you think when you get a little older, you get a little more maturity. You think better of.
Me being in education for 20 years, age and maturity don't correlate.
Right.
Yeah, there's no correlation.
I'm saying
Life
that's why I say
experiences.
that's why I say you would think.
Yeah,
Oh,
but life
at least with hope.
experiences breed
Because
maturity.
we got some mature children.
Yeah,
Right?
you got life experience.
You think they've been here before?
Way older, yeah, because their experiences
No,
show them what they should and shouldn't do.
No, but how do you explain that when, like say, when you have younger people or children and their demeanor and everything is and their thinking is way more mature than someone of their age.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's based on their experiences.
What
See,
experience could they've had that young?
because at home, they have to do certain things. They have to get their kid. They have to get their brother or sister ready for school. They have to wash and fold the clothes. They have to do certain things.
You have that same those same dynamics with some that grew up that way, but the moment they left home, it was like you let a kid.
Well, that's why though. But that's why.
But
It's the Michael Jackson.
Those
It's the Michael Jackson
those things
effect.
didn't take root.
Yeah, but it's the Michael Jackson effect. If I never could be a kid, I never could live freely. I had to do this for this amount of time. I did it for that amount of time.
But they gained maturity with that, though, right?
But just because I have it don't mean I gotta use it. I'm not saying I'm not mature. I just choose not to be.
And there are always choices.
Every time.
There's always
Yeah,
choices.
yeah. Well, it's always. And then there's the decisions. Everybody say there's a difference between choices and decisions. Choices is what you have to choose.
Yeah,
The decision is
the
what
action
you
take.
correct. There you go. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm
Very-
big on vocabulary, man.
Very true.
I'm big.
I like that.
And my fellow would say, you're very matter of factual. I said, it's not that. As I got old and I started to read and I started to study, then I started to pay attention to the words that we utilize.
Absolutely.
Because if you're saying manifest the words into existence, then I have to utilize the words that I want to see.
And I try to tell people, I said, you have to learn to be immaculate with your words. Because we live in a society now where everyone's trying to interpret.
Correct.
And if we use proper language, it'd be less interpreting.
But it's a difference between
better
interpretation and a translation.
Because we say things and leave it open for people to guess or fill in the blank of what we mean, as opposed to saying what we mean.
They do. People do. I don't do that.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
And I notice it a lot. I mean, I've even had people that tell me, why you ask so many questions? I'm saying because what you're saying can be taken so many different ways. I need to know what you
specific.
I need to know what your thought is, so when I get it, we have true communication. Because you don't have true
Effective.
communication unless I can capture what's in your mind.
Effective communication.
Right.
Correct.
Effective.
Because
Exactly.
everyone says, oh, you gotta have communication. You gotta have effective communication. That's why
It's
I don't do a lot of texting, over texting with people, especially with my wife. Like if things is, we say okay, I'm on the way, or something short. If we're ever having a conversation or everything may get heated or misconstrued, immediately we call each other.
Pick it up.
Correct. Because I don't want what I'm saying to be lost in text.
Absolutely.
Because if you're upset and you're reading too fast, or if you miss a word,
And especially when you're not in front of them to fix that.
correct.
And because time is your enemy at that point. Because there's so many things people fill in, they make a whole nother narrative.
They're correct. Because then your mind can run,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something I had to fix. I went through counseling, man. That's what I say. Me and my wife been together for years, and When my mom passed, she was a
You went
very
through counseling?
advocate for that.
A black man in counseling.
Yeah.
You know that seems to be taboo in our community for so many people.
Oh, yeah.
We you know you can't be you can't need some help, or you could need help, but
Correct.
if you go get some help for it, you weak.
But-
And to me, that's the opposite.
It is.
It's the opposite of being weak.
But
Strength is knowing I need help and I'm gonna get it.
exactly. Weak is just that. Weak. I am weak.
Mhm.
I did need help. Yeah. But I am stupid. It's not paying attention to what my body, what my stresses, what my triggers is telling me
Mhm.
that I need.
Mhm.
And one thing, going through my counseling session that she helped me, and it came back from when I was a child.
Mhm.
And I don't know, between 6th and 8th grade. That's when bullying and all that stuff, but wasn't nobody saying bully. Cats was picking on me, whatever. And I come home and tell my mom, and she say, "You done let these niggas pull your whole card."
Oh, you had one of the mamas that just
Yeah.
gave it straight. He's like my mama. Don't bite no tongue, no
Zero.
nothing. Gonna give it to you.
Say, and she's the
You
oldest of
appreciate
6.
that,
Yeah,
right?
and so that's how. From then on, that's how. See, she say, if anybody mess, you better pick a brick up, do whatever you got to defend yourself. Don't come on with that bullshit. So at that point, anytime I felt someone was doing something and got a lie, oh, they think I'm a hoe.
Mm.
And it transferred to I don't care whom it was, my daughter, my son, my wife, whoever. If things got, and it could have been
Cause you felt some type of way.
correct, instead of clarifying,
Mhm.
as soon as and they, nigga, you think I'm a hoe. And boom,
Look at
you know what I'm
trying
saying?
me.
Hey, off the muscle.
You gotta get some strength.
Here comes
strength
Kenny
going.
Wayne. Hey, we got to get it figured out.
One way or another.
Yeah, yeah, and then the
Most
greatest-
times, maybe, but back then, wasn't no talking.
no,
Because you.
ain't nothing to talk about at this point. We done crossed the line. The line has been crossed. The stick has been pushed off my shoulder. Yeah,
You gotta move
I
now.
got to. One way or the other, you know. And one thing she said, man, was so profound. She said, Mr. McCombs, had you ever thought
This your
that-
mama?
No.
Oh.
This is a counselor.
Okay.
That it really had nothing to do with you. It could have honestly been something that either one they had already dealt with, or they had the preconceived notion that you were going to do something, and so therefore they did. It had really
Absolutely.
nothing to do with you.
Absolutely.
And that
I've
changed
learned that on my side.
my
I've
world.
learned that.
Within a year, like this is just a year ago. Changed
Just
my
getting that perspective
world.
on it.
Yeah.
I've learned that quite a while ago. When you see the way people behave and how they talk,
Mhm.
instead of taking it personal,
Correct.
thinking, okay, where is that coming from? But some people may know that and just don't care where it came from. You ain't coming to me with that.
Yeah.
You got your own shit to deal with. I'm not the person you're gonna.
Which is true to a degree, but I still don't have to go to 10.
Mm-hmm.
I can just easily say, hey man, that don't have nothing to do with me. Check yourself, brother. It's all good. And keep it moving.
Some people walk around on 9.
But they do. But once again, it comes back to something that they are already dealing with. It has nothing to do with me.
Right.
They already have some unsettled issues that they battle.
Mhm.
You know,
But-
it don't have nothing to do with me.
But we're dealing with that on the daily. Dealing with people in society. When you do have that that introspection and thinking about it, it's easier and quite sad to walk around and identify so many people that you know is going through things.
Yeah.
And you like, and it's so many people walking around in that state of being.
Correct.
You like, this person's hurt, this person's hurt, this person's hurt, this person doesn't know how to deal with what they're dealing with, this person. But for people who have no awareness of it, they just, everyone
just
get
act.
along. Just get along, you move around and everything. But I know that I've come across quite a number of people who I didn't even know. But just upon saying a couple words, before you know it, we're in a deep conversation
Yeah.
about what's going on with them. Because I actually do care most of the time about
Correct.
what's going on with someone. And you find that once you give a person that attention to listen to
Mhm.
hear, you find there are a lot of willing people, because there's a lot of people that need therapy. They won't go to an office, but if they can find someone to confide in that actually gives a fuck about what they're talking about,
Correct.
they will
They'll
spill.
talk.
They will spill because they need to get it off of them. And that's what drives so many people crazy when they don't have anyone that actually wants to listen,
Mm-hmm.
and they got to hold on to it. and you see the consequences of that just manifest in different ways, whether they lash out being violent to people, treating their partner wrong, or to you get to the ultimate where they just off themselves because they can't
Or you
take
taking
it.
alcohol, drugs,
I'll tell you,
smoke, anything. You just abuse something because it helps you.
cope in some kind of way.
Yeah.
In their mind, they feel like this is what's helping me, even though it may be damaging to, like I said, themselves or even in the relationships that they're in with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we just need to spend more time just giving a fuck about other people.
What we do, also it goes back to once again how we raise. And I can only speak, from being black in the black community because all my friends don't have any.
You black?
I am.
Yeah, I thought you just had a tan.
Yeah. Nah, I'm Puerto Rican. Yeah, got me Pedro.
Don't let them Puerto Rican hear you say
Yeah.
that. They gonna say, "Oh, he Dominican."
Yeah, okay. I'm Haitian. Whatever.
Say you Haitian.
But we were taught to be strong in a lot of situations that we shouldn't have been strong in, and we held
We
on.
shouldn't have been allowed to
Be
show our
vulnerable.
weakness or
Correct.
be vulnerable. Yeah.
Yeah, to be vulnerable, to accept help. And if I'm never taught to accept help or to get help, then I don't know what that looks like.
But that brings me to, like you say, when you were taught growing up, there you have quite a number of people that are in environments where they have to be strong in whatever situation that they're dealing with in order to overcome or even
Correct.
just to get through it. And before they can get to a point where there's some therapy involved, those behaviors
man.
and mentality is rooted in them so deep.
It is.
It becomes it tends to become who they are because they don't know anything else.
I agree with you 100%.
You know?
Yeah, especially growing up in the hood. Like, you know what I'm saying? To grow up in the hood, you're taught survival skills.
And there's people that don't even need to survive and they're still in that mode.
And they still in that mode. Correct. Growing up on the south side of Fort Worth, in the neighborhood I grew up in, this doesn't correlate to living in Frisco.
Oh, you're in Frisco now.
Yes, sir.
You're all uppity.
Yeah.
All uppity now.
That's okay.
But
I accept that.
and you've learned to adjust.
I used to be mad. People, but now I'm like, yeah, I do live in Frisco. But I'm cool with it. Like, it's just an area I live. I've lived in these areas for so long, it didn't come with a badge of honor. So why would this area come with a badge of honor? Just come with high rent. It don't come with a badge of honor.
Well, I mean, but it also comes with your alert level lower. Instead of walking outside and you on 7 and 8 because you got to pay attention to your surroundings. When you get into different environments where the crime rate isn't as high, when you have people who act like they got a little bit more sense, you can be calm. You can actually walk around and have your guard down a little bit. You don't want to have drop it, right?
Yeah.
Because but even
I know what you're saying.
but even in saying that, your hood ain't left you.
Yeah, no.
So whatever's gonna jump off, it ain't hard to convert back.
It's not.
You get back where you need to be.
But I don't need it all the time.
Right.
Yeah, I
right.
want to let me pick and choose when I can utilize it versus always having to keep it on at all time. Yeah. Now I know I avoid those areas. I don't even want to utilize my hood skills.
Because you don't even want to use it.
Yeah, I don't even want to run. I don't even want to be.
Like who are these people that want to walk around mad all the time? Who always want to be in a place where somebody trying them?
Well, that's
All the
once again
time.
that's internal. It's two things. It's a two-part. One, they don't understand and know who they are. Being black, we were taught to hate ourselves. So when they look in the mirror and they see themselves as a black male or black female, they think everything that came negative is associated with their skin tone
Help me with this.
or their skin color.
Help me with this. I understand being black. I grew up being black.
Yes, sir.
I was black. I ain't black no more.
That's what I say you
I'm
was.
I'm just a man right now. We all have different melanin in our skin, whatever. But I'm black in the common term.
Correct.
yes, But I'm always gonna say I'm a human first.
Correct. Well, that's where it comes from. Hue means color. Hue man. H-U-E is
That
hue.
is not where it came from.
Look it up.
I ain't know that
H-U-E means color.
What is Zono? Zono know that shit. I ain't trying to know
Well,
that.
that's okay. You ain't got. That's what you got Kenny Wayne on for. You know what I'm saying?
Teach me some shit.
Yeah.
Teach
That's
me
what.
something.
Yeah, that's what it means. The human race.
Right. No, but so when you said we were taught to hate ourselves, I'm trying to think of a lesson where I was taught to hate myself.
Even not verbally, the way our history in America started with what?
Oh, the history of the African American.
Correct. It starts with
African,
it starts with being what though?
the slave.
Enslaved, correct.
Mhm,
You're taught you were enslaved first. They don't teach you about anything else in America as a
Should-
young black person.
Should we, people who hadn't grown up in that, be taught you were a slave?
Well, you
when
weren't
it didn't apply
you
to
was
us?
enslaved.
Were we enslaved?
Our ancestors,
Okay, before us,
correct.
right? They were enslaved. Should that make a difference to us in today's society as far as how we
Yes.
see ourselves?
Not as far as how you see yourself,
Mhm.
but it does when this is what you're taught and you're shown, where you were less than a human. You were less than an animal
At one point.
at one point in time,
Mhm.
right? Only in America, right? And I'm
Mhm,
showing.
mhm. Not only in America.
Well, I mean, when I say in America, because that's where you got your education from.
Right, right.
You didn't study abroad, so you didn't
Right.
see how. Well, I know it happened all over. I'm just talking about from an American education
Right,
standpoint.
gotcha. Mhm.
And everything I'm showing you is demoralizing. Everything I'm showing you on TV, books, media, you're all being killed, whoop, beat.
Mhm.
How does that reflect your psyche? You will automatically assume that because I'm black, it's negative. If every time I turn on the TV, you're being hung, you're being lynched, dogs are sick on you,
Well, yeah.
water is
We
dead.
got our own version of that now without the slavery.
Well, it's just
So-
it's a correlation from the past. That's
Mhm.
why I was going to come back and answer. Yes, that's why it's very important to
Mhm.
learn your history so it doesn't repeat itself. If you ever want to move
But
out,
yeah, have we truly moved away from that being in society that we see today?
yes and no, not
Mhm.
totally,
Mhm.
but you do have black millionaires, billionaires, business owners. You know, the elite.
But even back then,
Not as many, though.
No, not as many. But you still had some people of color that were, I guess, given
Correct.
some things and made them feel like they were better. And those were
They
people,
were allowed.
and they were used.
Correct.
And those people were used to get the other ones in check.
To stay in your place.
Right.
Correct. Exactly. That's what it's
You're gonna
for.
mess it up for everybody.
Yeah.
But there's only a couple of them that got it.
Well, now you say, well, as long as they had it, we okay. Not realizing until all of us had it, none of us okay. You can look at Sammy Davis Jr., you know, back with the Rat Pack.
Mhm.
You can look at, that's why Ray Charles did, you know, Georgia,
Mhm.
because he was allowed to come in, perform in these all-white venues, but no black people were allowed to come in to enjoy from.
So he was in front of an all-white audience.
Exactly. And that's why he came up with the song Georgia, because he was saying he would never perform in Georgia again until they raised those restrictions.
Ah, see,
Yeah.
they put me on to something. See, and this is how Zoe get to know things.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's what they've always done. If you think about numbers, it's 100%. But if I don't allow 1 or 2% to be these successful conglomerates, the rest of y'all just, you know, remain in your place because I'm entertaining you all with these athletes, singers, promoters, whatever they do. They were the only ones allowed to do those things. But you allowed all these blacks that were singers and entertainers to come in, but the regular people buying a ticket, they could never come in and enjoy the show.
They couldn't get none of that.
Yeah, none of it. Yeah. And so that's where being taught or shown that you were less than came from. It doesn't always, violence isn't always physical.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, the
Well,
emotional, spiritual,
the psychological one
and
is
that
the
is
strongest.
the strongest one because
Absolutely.
those are the bruises, cuts, and
Those
pain
last longer.
you can't see. You can see a black eye.
Mhm.
You can see a cut. You can see I shot you.
Mhm.
But you can't see molestation. You can't see rape. You can't see your father left, your mother left. You know, you can't see that.
Yeah, the mental damage.
Yeah, it manifests
Psychological
in,
damage.
correct. Me and one of my good friends, Gerard, we talk about books. We both avid readers, and I became a more avid reader with him.
Mhm.
And we were talking about growing up
Black
with
man
with
reading.
books,
Y'all hear this?
with
Read.
books in your house.
Advocating reading.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And
I
he was
that.
like, man, when I was growing up, books were only to level my couch out.
Oh my gosh.
and everybody had that one leg, you know, in the back or something. And you know what I'm saying? Your mom, T. Jones, whoever,
Gotta put
put
some
that
up
book,
under
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So when you
It was a
have
fixture, it wasn't just meant to be used.
correct. And so when you have cats breaking it down, we talking about building knowledge, and you giving me books, and I'm giving you books, and we talking, you know, we building.
It's been real literature.
Yeah, that's when the correlation changed, and then you can see it. My mentor, Ricky Clark, when I first got home from college, even prior to that, taught me, showed me about the importance of being black, understanding where you came from, understanding, you know, Africa, Kemet, which is the original name, Akubalan, and, you know, Ethiopia, meaning the land of the burn people, and showing where we from prior to the enslaved African trade and all that stuff, showing how the world got all of its information and knowledge from Africa, and did everything they could to disallow Egypt being a part of Africa, and that's Northern Africa. Even from above that, with Hannibal in the northern part of Africa, which is a great, he was a great general, you know, right before the Romans came in and defeated him, he was black. And so a lot of this stuff isn't taught or isn't shown. And that's how you know, when you go back and look at any black historian from Africa, they're all portrayed by what?
White people.
White people. So
Like, they did everything and been everywhere.
right. So therefore, that's how you know. Those are the ways that they're trying to show you that you don't mean anything, that you're less than.
They
But I can't even
understood
betray.
it a long time ago.
Yeah, but I can't even betray you, your family, with the depiction of the color. And I had a whole white cast that played your family. You had came over to buy your pick.
They know the importance of it.
Correct.
They know it. They know
We
it.
just did.
Hold on, when you think about people doing these DNA things, ancestries and stuff like that, and I'm wondering, what is the motivation for these people to identify themselves with everything on the upper levels of the tree as opposed to the root? Because we all come back from the same place. You know, they don't want everyone is 100% African.
Correct.
You know, but I got Scottish and I got Peruvian and you know, whatever, all these other different things. But why'd you stop short? Why'd you stop there? Why you didn't go deeper?
It's just amalgamation.
They don't want to.
But they don't want to. Also, American I am race, when you're bringing that I am race with a melting pot of everything. But also, and I'll give you a little homework, Google and look up DNA. When did DNA become a science that you honestly could trace back? To even find you if you
For
break
genetics.
somebody. Yeah, for genetics, right? So just on average, on what year? It's 2021 right now. We're just gonna, just because of numbers. Let's take it back to 2000. Who you tracing me back to?
Me?
Whomever. Ancestry DNA.
Oh, okay.
Who-
They didn't have it before.
Who are you tracing? Like, where are you getting my DNA strand to test it against?
Who? Your parents or what?
That, you tell me.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? Because I don't think it's true. Because you don't know anyway. It's Yahtzee. Man, I can throw it out there and just tell you, man, you 5, 4, 6, 3. Because
So you think DNA science is not a real thing?
no, DNA science is a real thing. But what am I comparing it to?
Like what do they have on file?
Correct. You don't have any of my DNA on file. You don't have none of my family's DNA on file. So how can you trace my ancestry lineage back because whom did you
Like where do you
already
get
take
those
the samples from to say, yes, Ken, you're a match to this lineage?
Well, I gotta put it this way. You know, when you go into archaeology, and you know they get samples and all those type of things, and we're not that far apart as species. I mean,
Yes.
so if you're in one region and you find the remains of something, and you take the bones and all,
Correct.
you do find.
But
those
guess
same
what? But
things.
guess what you just said though.
What?
Every archaeologist comes from where? They're only digging up.
School.
No, they're only digging.
That's where they
No,
come
archaeology
from.
they're digging up. But what continent are they digging in?
All of them.
But
They
they don't. Yeah, but you don't know. Bathsheba didn't have sex with sex. Like you don't. Like you see what I'm saying? Like you. Like that, it doesn't go that far back.
But it depends on where they're digging. And they know from written.
What they
written
can
history
show
and
you
everything.
is you get a hit with a sibling or someone that's in your family that lives in one of these states, that comes back positive.
No.
If everyone has done it, because they can
that's
cross-reference
them.
that.
But what I'm saying is when if you're an archaeologist and you go and you dig it, you find remains from a certain period in time,
Mhm.
right? All right, and once you know what that sequence is, you know what those markers are.
Mhm.
So now you find someone that's 2,000 years after the fact, and you can still trace that same marker, and you can go from other markers from other regions and all that type of stuff to get you a map.
Correct.
A map of where these different markers are hidden from. And I got this person here today, and when we do their DNA, we get these markers. So we can
I
trace.
guess that's just where we defer. I honestly think it's
Oh,
just.
you don't think that's a thing? What I just said?
No, I do, but I'm just thinking when it comes to us in general, because you don't know. They can print out anything and send that to you.
Oh, you mean from those companies?
Yeah, because what else?
They tell you anything
Because what do you have to
even verify what
vet
they say?
what they're telling you?
Absolutely.
Nothing. They send
Hey,
you hear people.
I used to
They
think the same
send you a
thing.
sheet of paper,
I used
and
to-
you and everybody like, oh, I'm this.
Yeah,
But how do you know it?
I used to think the same thing actually.
What they're doing. This is me. I have a little conspiracy theory.
Hmm.
All the people, if you never committed a crime, there's no reason for your DNA to be in a database. But now, if you freely give it, it's in a database.
That's another thing I thought too.
Yeah, it's in the FBI database.
Right.
So now, if anybody commits a crime that's done that, your DNA is stored in a database,
Could be used for that. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it is used for that. I'm in banking now. So since
I believe it.
9/11,
I definitely believe it.
since 9/11, all of the agencies have to share information with each other. It's called the Patriot Act.
Mhm.
And so no matter what it is, whoever has the information, they have to share it. So if the FBI is looking for someone, they have access to Ancestry.com or whatever these,
So,
and now your DNA is in the building.
And you don't even have to be the person that submitted it. Now
No.
you have a sister, you have a
Mhm.
brother, a mother. They were looking up their ancestry, and
Right.
now they have them, and now your DNA came up at a
At a
same
99.9% match.
So if it ain't them, it's somebody
It
related
has
to
to
you.
be somebody related to you.
Mm-hmm. That's smart.
Yeah, it is.
Super,
It
super
is.
smart.
Because the average person, they don't read. They want to be told information. I bring, not to talk about religion, but that's how I view religion. The book, anyone can pick the Bible up, the Quran, or whatever religion you are.
That's going to be a whole different
Yeah,
segment.
and read.
On that.
Yeah, and read. No, I'm just saying, like, even why I brought that up.
We live in a society where people need an authority. They need it, and that's the ultimate authority figure in their mind. So
Correct.
if they weren't there, I've heard people say, so if you didn't get your moral values from a God, like we all run around here raping and killing. I was like, that's what you think we do without a God? First of all, you say there is one, and they still do that. So, so I don't know what it stopped.
No one has ever told you not to rape your mom. God already put that in you.
And what God did,
At no point in time did you ever wake up one day you was eating breakfast and you like, I'm rape my mom.
somebody thought about it.
Which they did.
Somebody thought about
I agree, but it's human. That's what I'm saying. There's human, so it really has nothing to do with a God or anything else because we all have access to the same information. It's once again what you utilize and how you choose to use the information.
Absolutely.
Just like the mass shooters and things like that. They're all at a certain age. You think they've never read a book or they've never understood God or never went to church or never had no one pray for them or something?
What have they been fed? What have they been fed? Because when you get people that go off like that, they've been fed some garbage for quite a while, and they've been open to it.
Well, that's
Because
everything,
we've all been given some negative negative information and images and things we hear and all that type of stuff, and most people don't regurgitate that and bring it back into acting on it,
existence, correct. Because everything that happens, they say as above, so below. So everything you see in this world happened in our conscience first. And then it's regurgitated for us to see in a physical manner.
It's like what I tell people. I say when we talk about God, and you say God created something from nothing, and I said, after a while, to me, I interpreted that. I'm saying, well, actually, that's what we are. We're gods.
Correct.
Like anything you see here in the physical that's man-made was not here before. It was
wasn't.
nothing. It wasn't even a thought at one point. And now we have it. It's something that you got that came from nothing. It was nothing there, and the idea was sparked in your mind.
Genesis 1:26-28.
You a Bible
and
believer?
now they have
You a Christian?
become like us. No, sir. I don't want
You just know
to.
the
I
Bible?
used to be.
You know the Bible.
I love it. The Bible is
You
one of
like-
the greatest books that has ever been written.
Most people, well, I say most people.
Up to 33, I was.
Oh, a lot of, like Jesus. But like a lot of people, they are understanding, at least atheists are, they're understanding that atheists more times know the Bible better than
Oh, correct.
theists.
Well, you know, the
Because you
people
bring
that's
things to their
atheists,
attention, because atheists, we pay attention to the stuff that don't make sense.
but atheists doesn't believe in any higher power. They believe
Right.
man creates his own destiny.
Mhm.
That's what atheists. If anyone, the average person think atheists, oh, he doesn't believe. No, they don't believe in God or the devil.
Just in that supernatural realm.
Correct.
We're not there.
Zero.
We believe everything else you believe on it that's
Yeah.
in this reality.
Correct.
It's just on that single point right there. I don't believe it.
But Satanists is the same way. I've studied Satanists. Not that I practice it,
Mhm.
but if anyone, and I always encourage anyone to pick the books up and read anything. Satan.
Everybody can't read everything.
But if you ever read Satanism,
Mhm.
you would think that the average person was more Satanist than they are Christian. Because Satanists say don't hurt anyone. Don't go in a man's lair. Don't sleep with his wife. The only thing they say is if you do this,
so this stuff
then
that you
do
read,
this. Yes.
Because anybody who hasn't been made aware of that or even interested in it, when they think of Satanists, they think of just the
devil.
They're thinking torturing.
Correct.
They're thinking sacrifices and all that
Correct.
type of stuff. Hold on.
It is none of that.
Hold on. But understand, that's in the Bible though.
I ain't never seen it in the Bible.
You never seen
Not-
nobody
not-
sacrifice their kids and all that type of stuff
Well-
and kill people who didn't do what they
But
supposed
it's
to do.
not, but it's not in the Bible.
What's not in the Bible?
Killing your kid. Like even when they was
That's
going
one of the laws. An unruly child, we take to the street and stone to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got
Yeah, but that's-
that.
but
God
that's
has
not-
commanded people to go and kill.
Well, man was writing it like because even
Oh,
remember with the ram in the bush, right?
All
But that ain't-
I'm
you know
saying is, if you take it, if believers are taking the Bible as kind
Oh,
of inspired,
correct.
then they have to go with what it's saying.
Well,
but
they do and they don't because you see them with the Christmas tree,
hold
so
on,
they
hold
don't do
on,
that.
hold on. None of them follow it.
No,
Not,
trust me.
Not 100% of them don't follow
Trust me, brother.
it.
I'm not arguing. I'm agreeing with you.
100% of them, but they sure will pull it out on you.
But try to.
As if it's some type of authority.
Yeah.
Like, no.
No, I'm Gucci.
I'm good.
I'm Gucci with it, cuz. I will tell her. I don't even, like, when I first came into the light, I was going through a real bad time in my life. And I went to the
I
Bible.
bet it was because you actually asked the questions.
Well, no.
You didn't ask no questions, you want to know nothing?
No. At that point, I was just pretty much accepting or whatever. But until whatever happened in my life, then at that point, that's when I was searching for answers. And I went to the Bible, I'm reading the Bible. But the more I started to read the Bible for myself,
With a critical mind and not just an
Correct.
accepting mind.
correct. And then I started to say, well, this doesn't say any of the things that I was taught, which was cool,
Hold on.
bro.
Yeah, but isn't that amazing though? As many years as people have been in the churches,
Yeah,
you can go to a passage, as a person who doesn't believe, because like I said, we'll look at it with a critical mind, and you can point out passages that they've never heard.
Zero.
They've been in church 25, 30 years.
exactly.
And they're like, they ain't in there.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is.
you don't know your Bible.
Yeah, you ain't read the Bible.
That's amazing.
Growing up, you hear this all the time. God takes care of fools and babies.
He takes care of fools.
Or fools and babies, right? You hear people say that.
Mhm.
That's nowhere in the Bible. That's not an actual scripture in the Bible, But it's several of them that we just say because we've heard it when we regurgitate information.
You realize that you got believers that don't believe that God endorsed slavery in the Bible.
Well, that's because they didn't
once
read.
you tell them they're like, no, God didn't do that.
Well, they didn't see one of my favorite movies, man, Django. In Django, when the slave masters whipping when Lil John them out there, he got the Bible pages,
Mhm.
stapled to him, and he's reading out of the Bible
As
as he's been whipped. Yeah, it's in there. It says obey your slave master. Like it's several
That is the epitome of indoctrination.
Oh, it is.
Oh my
It is.
God.
But it's, you know, and
We're gonna-
talk
we're
about,
gonna-
and I
we're
wish
gonna-
I knew
We're
her
gonna
name.
offend some people with this.
Derek Jackson's wife. I wish I knew her name because I want to address the sister by her name, but I don't know it.
I think her name's Drea.
Drea. Okay.
I think it's Drea.
So she was on there with her camouflage on, and and that's what her thing was saying. We got a ministry mindset, and we got, all these things referencing the Bible and Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, in Proverbs, he says, there was a fool and a wise man arguing, but from a distance, the people could not tell the two apart.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, you have to realize where are you on the spectrum. You just have to realize where you are and just be cool with it and accept it and develop your plan and maneuver from there. Life comes at us fast, from wrecks. If you have a hoop, blew my Achilles out, my knee. No, did I want that to happen? No, but since it happened, these are the things I have to do. The same thing in her situation. Yes, sister, he cheated. You can say that. Like it isn't anyone's prerogative. Whatever it's their prerogative, but they don't have the final say. So you can stay and do whatever you would like to do.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you can't expect someone not to say things or not to address certain situations
you put out there.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
When you verbally open it up, if you say nothing, I have nothing to say back.
That's not true, because again,
Well,
we're a society that we fill in the silence.
But
We make the narrative, and you find
but
a lot of
if
people.
you say nothing, though, Renzo, guess what?
But a lot of people in public,
What-
entertainment will find
But
out
listen,
if they stay
but just
quiet.
listen to what I'm saying.
Go
Though.
ahead.
If you say nothing,
Mhm.
I have nothing to say back. That's a fact. Not saying I don't have nothing to say.
Mhm.
I said I have nothing to say back to you.
You ain't got to say nothing to me, but it doesn't stop you from talking and,
Which-
and making a narrative.
That's life, though.
No, but again, it's like people when they have publicists for it. When things come out into the public, they're gonna get out there and get in front of it because they want to get control of what the narrative is. Because if they don't say anything and let other people make the narrative, then all of a sudden they can't fight when the mud's been poured on so far.
But that's gonna be when it comes to rape, murder, things of that
No,
nature.
just your image in general. Someone can. You as a business person.
But I'm saying
someone can say that you did bad business, and then all of a sudden people are echoing this. If you never say anything to set the record straight, or even make an attempt, then you have an image that now you have to try to.
Let me walk this
combat
back.
that.
What I'm saying
Right?
is for her.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm saying her. Because she's not the one that's in the public eye. That's what I'm saying. She does. She's not in the public eye. Though. He is.
People brought her out there and said it was his wife a fool for staying and all that type of
But
stuff.
they didn't bring her out there. He brought her out
Who
there.
did?
He brought her out there.
Oh.
The people didn't. No one called her and said, "Girl, you better get up on that."
No. In their video, he literally said, he said people think I did it. Whose idea was this? She said it was my idea. They get on the video.
I don't know what time I said it, but I said it. Boy, a lie ain't nothing for a nigga to say.
You think they were lying?
You can
they
look
both
at her body.
lying?
She didn't have the energy.
So as people who don't know her,
You invited me on this show, right? And
Yeah.
I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
What if I was just here like this the whole time?
What if that's your demeanor?
What if I want to be a good guest. Don't invite me back.
And the way she was acting might be the reason he didn't have her on the camera most of the time, because she isn't a person that presents well in front of a camera. But now she's out there, everybody gets to read what they want into it, and not necessarily knowing that maybe not be, what they're looking at is because they don't know her.
Correct.
So it's a double-edged sword.
It's a bad time to know in this situation though. Too fast.
You can't win either way.
Yeah. You could win.
It's tough because again you're dealing with a judgmental and opinionated society.
But you put yourself there though. Someone posted today, and I can't. What's Will Smith's wife's name? Jada Pinkett, right?
Jada.
Now I know it.
Jada.
So they said, well, if you forgive her, you had to forgive him.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, the difference is, she never came out bashing no one.
Mm-hmm.
She never came out talking as if she's never done anything wrong.
No, but anytime anyone sees you on a platform where you are giving help or advice to
Correct.
someone, people will think you're on some type of pedestal. You think you're better than someone because you're out here trying to give someone else advice. Because some people think, who are you to tell this person this, that, and the other? You always have people that
No,
think
correct.
that. So the minute you're out there saying anything,
But giving advice and bashing is two different things.
tomato to some people.
No, it's not.
I'm just telling you what the reality is. I mean, you could be coming with the greatest intentions. It doesn't mean that you don't have a slew of people out there.
Giving
that-
advice
it's the same way.
and bashing.
Mm-hmm.
Saying advice, now I'm gonna say this, giving constructive advice, not being harmful, not saying what you should and what you shouldn't do. Just giving advice.
Hold on. So doesn't advice, by its nature, give you a direction?
No. It gives you an option to look at it.
Well, it gives you a direction to look, at least.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. So
Mhm.
so here it comes, right?
Mhm.
You say, Ken, I work hard, I get home, my girl, my wife haven't done this, haven't done this. First thing I say was, have you spoken to her about it?
Mhm.
You say, yes, I have. Okay, what would that conversation look like?
Absolutely.
You see, we're just walking through it.
Yeah, you build.
I'm not,
you build
yeah, you see what I'm saying? But if you say on the flip side, Ken, I come home, she hasn't cooked, she ain't clean, and I say, man, she ain't shit, you need to leave her. But you come
That's
on,
totally
you see
different.
what I'm saying? You come on my house,
Yeah.
and mine is just as hard out as well. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
That's the difference. If I'm trying to give you ways of looking at it to
That's a difference.
correct.
Because I'm telling you, you have anyone, like, look, you can give constructive criticism, and it could be a point where someone's telling you that someone is, not treating them well. This is what their view is of the situation, and you simply say to them, is that something you're going to accept? Right?
Well, that's the question.
You're going to, is that something you want to accept? And they say no. You say, well, you got two choices. You either can accept it or you don't accept it. So if you don't accept it, it's up to you to verbalize the things that set the boundaries in your place where what you expect and the things you won't tolerate. You can do that. Or another option is you don't say anything. You just take it. That's another option. Another option is if you give these rules and these boundaries and things you don't want to accept, if those lines are crossed again, you have an option. You can separate yourself from the situation. Now, if I said anything, I'm
No.
sorry. Now, the partner heard that they had a conversation with me because now their partner is leaving now, and it's like they're talking to me, and all of a sudden I'm the bad guy because now I've given them that advice and said those things. Now I look like a person. Who is you to tell them what the?
Well, that's
it
game.
easily falls into that. I'm just
Yeah,
saying, but you
but
have so
that's
many.
game, though. But that's different,
That's
though.
humanity. People do that.
Well, yes and no.
Because
What I look at,
because they're adversely affected by it.
and that's where the game come in. That's why I'm saying that's different, though.
Mhm.
That's game.
That's what I'm
Because
saying. My point was, giving the advice doesn't absolve you from being looked at as if you think you're better than
Oh,
someone
no.
else.
I agree with that. But
Mhm.
I'm saying what I'm saying is anybody with a holistic mind and a holistic heart, you'll know the difference between
Absolutely.
advice and bashing. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If anybody that is going to take away from, of course, that's going to sound like the worst advice anybody could have gave. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying from a holistic point of view, if we just talking about just giving advice versus bashing.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. This guy's made his bones by bashing men for cheating. And now you've had 3 scandals
Hold on.
that we know about. Just like how he
Hold
said,
on. Do men deserve to be bashed for cheating?
I
mean,
can't.
if we're going to talk to our women, do we want our women accepting that?
Well, that's different though. See, because once again,
Because that behavior,
but once
Isn't
again,
it?
I'm not. But okay, I'm gonna give you a little background about me. I taught behavior
Mhm.
to behavior kids, right?
Mhm.
My number one thing to the teachers, I used to tell them all the time: being aggressive and punishment does not change behaviors. Who doesn't know if you murder someone, you get caught, you're gonna get 25 life? Everyone knows that. You sell drugs, you get caught, you're doing 10 or 15. So punishment doesn't change behavior. Information, love, and opportunity changes behavior. So for me to bash you for what you already knew was wrong in the end, it really doesn't make sense.
So, okay.
So we can hold each other accountable,
So,
and we can have
hold on.
conversations.
How do you do? Well, okay. So someone goes and commits a murder.
Correct.
What conversation are you having? Because obviously you said punishment is not the key. You don't punish.
It's not.
So you don't lock them up. You
Well,
don't
no,
take away their freedom.
no.
You
I didn't
love
say.
them.
I didn't say. I wouldn't. I didn't say that. I said
It can change
punishment.
behavior because some it's like
Punishment
it's like
doesn't
it's
change
like
behavior. What I'm talking about on a
Since when?
global scale. On a global scale,
Because
there's
you got-
minutia in
because
anything.
Yeah, because you got people that don't work with, but other people you tap them on the ass, they're gonna act right. It just-
Probably for that situation, but there's other situations that they might do, and guess what?
It depends.
But punishment
I know
doesn't change
I
behavior.
know I got my ass whooped when I was younger, when I was like in 3rd grade, because I decided we were living in Pittsburgh, California. A lot of people know that place other than people who've been there. But I was going to a school, and right across the street was a store, Sal Yusei. We used to go to that store, and they had video games in there. So every morning we would go in there and go play video games 1st, and then we would walk on to school.
I said the same thing.
But this particular day, me and my cousins, and my brother, we were playing the video games, and we were just into it. And the clock is ticking.
Y'all stayed there a little longer.
And this guy, this boy, we didn't even know this boy. He wanted us to go walking around with him. For some reason, we all made a unified decision we're gonna do that, and we didn't take our ass to school.
Okay.
So we walking up and down the street. This boy had some tea bags. We thought we were going to be some thugs or whatever we were going to be. He rolled the tea bags, the leaves in the tea bag into some papers. We smoking tea bags. This is the dumbest shit in the world. And as we're walking down the street, there's a car coming up the street. It's a Cadillac. It's the assistant principal. We know her car. Me and my brother, we ran around a building, around a house. But my cousin, he was late. He was late running. And she got out the car, and she said, "Boy, what are you doing out here?"
Yeah.
And we over here. Because he sees us, but she don't see us. And he's like, "Oh, I'm with," he's like, "Oh, this."
That's right. Come on out,
He
y'all.
told.
Come on out. We caught.
Listen, yeah.
Come on out, y'all. They got us.
She had no clue he was even there. Yo, so we get back to the school. My mom had to come pick us up. We get back to the house. I'm already, my stomach hurt.
Bubble.
My stomach hurt. I gotta go to the bathroom. My mom said, "Y'all, you take y'all goddamn clothes off." Oh my God. That made my stomach hurt worse. I'm sitting on the toilet, ain't doing nothing, but I'm just hurting. And my brother, the first one to get it. She's swinging. This is, see, back in the day, we didn't necessarily call it abuse. It was called whoopings, even though it was an extension cord.
We're around the same age.
And
I'm born in '76.
I know you know.
Yeah,
I know you
trust
know.
me.
But people these days, you get people called on you. This is regular for us. So my mama comes in the bathroom, kicking in the door like the police, swinging. Yo, I never forgot
She's
that.
surgical with that
oh
thing.
my God! Listen. Even into my high school years, when my parents were not even at home, because we had times where my mom went home and my daddy went home, and it might have been a day or two before we even seen them. But we were sufficient enough, it was 4 boys, we were sufficient enough to take care of business. Don't you know, since the day in the 3rd grade, I never missed school, and even when they wasn't there, and I could have gotten away with it, I still went and got my brother up. We went to school. In that situation there, even when I could have done otherwise, that ass whooping set on me and changed my behavior.
For that.
I did not ever.
But throughout the rest of your life, had you ever done anything else?
Anything else, yes. But
That's all I'm
saying
saying.
behavior. The
Well-
behavior was not going to school.
Well, that
I went.
what I'm saying behavior. Once again, we're talking about the conglomerate of behavior of being not doing what's against the law, things of that, or any type of behavior. The behavior didn't change. You just might not have skipped school, but there's other things you've done that your mother would not have been proud of as well.
So do you? I'm not saying no one would ever break a law after they broke it the first time, but you don't think that there are people who've done jail time and that had changed them? It gave them a wake up call.
Oh no! Once again, I'm talking about conglomerate, large numbers. We're not talking about
So-
small. There are
so-
small percentages
so
of everything that goes
How
their
do you
way
how do you decipher which works for who?
by looking at the numbers.
No,
Look,
I'm
that's what I'm
just
saying.
saying,
Look
I'm saying,
at.
any
So I
individual.
wish that recidivism shows
Hold on,
you.
hold on. Like I did something. How do you know whether I need love or I need jail time? How would you know that?
You wouldn't. What I said, bashing though. Jail and bashing is not the same thing.
No, you said punishment doesn't change behavior. So
Yeah,
I'm
it does.
asking you how do you decipher which one if I need punishment or I need
That's
therapy or anything else? How would you determine that?
Just time will show. Because think about 3-time offenders. Think about 4 or 5 times. There's people been in our jail 4 or 5, 6, 7.
Absolutely.
So that's all I'm saying. So therefore, punishment.
How do we fix it though?
Well,
I understand what you're saying. I'm saying
I don't.
What's the other option?
If there's no one thing I do know, there's no magic dust.
No, but
But
it has to be some
also-
kind of actions to fix it.
Well, it is and it's not because it based on once again coming from your upbringing, understanding how you perceive information, what is your intelligence level. Like there's a lot
That's
of things that
that's
come.
a whole
Well, it
psyche
is.
valve.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what comes with it though.
Each criminal?
Well,
Would you
unfortunately,
have
you
to?
said well.
If you were trying to make a real
Yeah,
change.
if you're honestly trying to fix it, that's where you would have to start because your level of understanding has a lot to do with it
That's
as
true.
well.
Very true.
Being love, having compassion, having a steady household, growing up like you say, man, it was two single parent household. Just me and my sister. There's no one there. So at 15, my sister goes to school. When I get 15, turning 16, my sister graduates high school. She's gone.
She's going off.
Yeah, I'm there by myself every day. There's no supervision, really. So I didn't do anything, you know what I'm saying? But
How were your boundaries set?
my mom came home and said, "Ain't got no money. If you take your ass to jail, I can't get you out."
You just took
Gave me $20 when she went to work.
fend for yourself.
Say, and looking at my current living conditions, I knew she wasn't lying.
So you acted accordingly.
Say, and I had love. I had
But
older.
that's also because you saw you had some sense.
Well, I mean,
Everybody got sense.
they do when you're right. Everyone does.
They don't. You hope for them.
Correct. That's what it is. I guess I'm hopeful. I'm still a bleeding heart liver.
It's like,
I
but
still want
like
everybody.
they say, you look at the numbers. Numbers show you
Look at the
that.
numbers, man. Just look at the numbers, though.
They ain't
Just
got
look at just look at the numbers, man. I mean, think about marriage. If that's the case, the divorce rate is up, but people still get married. Because people still believe in love.
I mean, other than the legality of it, what's the benefit of an actual marriage?
Oh man, they're tremendous, man. To
That's
have
true.
someone, every day, man.
You can't have that with someone you just committed to?
Well,
Because
in a sense,
at the end of the day, a marriage ain't gonna keep someone there.
no, I agree with that.
So you could be
But when
not
I
married
when I
and
call when I call marriage is the relationship that we have a bond. We're married.
you're not talking about the paper.
Correct. I mean, because anybody says, "I'll just see the paper."
No, and that's what I'm asking. What other than the legality, what does that paper really do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Other than the legality, I mean, that's because of insurance,
Yeah,
but
it
now,
is.
but other than that, but to have someone at home consistently, you know what I'm saying, that y'all can talk, go places, it's a beautiful thing.
experiences.
Share experiences,
Yeah.
man. It's not.
I mean, because they grew up with the dream, with the wedding dress and
Well,
and the-
it's socialization.
Mhm.
They were socialized that way.
Mhm.
Women are taught to get a certain age, get married, house, kids. Unfortunately, men, we're told one of the dumbest things ever, and I have made a point never to tell my son this: having sex with many women as you can before you get married.
ooh, sow your wild oats, as they say.
Yeah.
You don't think that's a good message?
It's not.
How? So you feel like you don't know what you're missing if you never had it, huh?
Well, it's not that. I can't put you in a mode of variety and then
Or being a
put you
predator type thing,
and then put you in a single.
a monogamous situation.
It doesn't make sense.
That transition in the
Correct.
way of thinking. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
That's like I'm looking around your house. You got several pairs of shoes. If I woke up and just said you're gonna wear these one pair of shoes for the rest of your life, but I've allowed you to wear these other 10 pair of shoes,
Mhm.
to use 26, 27, 28, and then I take all those shoes away. This is the only pair of shoes you can wear for the rest of your life. The concept of that doesn't even make sense.
Mm. But it isn't it natural? Isn't it? Huh?
And that one.
Like isn't it natural though for men? I mean, more so for men because I think it's in our genes
It is.
to procreate, to move around, and so the idea of monogamy doesn't seem like it's a natural one. It's a socialized one.
I agree.
But but going back to even the Bible, and talk about marriage. How many people in that Bible had multiple women?
Oh, several. I was gonna say how many was in there married.
No.
That's what I thought you was going to ask. I was like, none of them. Who was in there married is the question.
Yeah, I mean,
Name one.
They might have been together, but other than that, listen.
Only the kings who had several wives were married. There was no other single individual that was married.
But
Sarah.
I think they might. I think they might use the term. They might use terms where we consider today as being married. But,
No, they would use married.
The type of
The
bond they had.
one term that they do utilize and that does mean that's not married. And anyone that hears this, they can look it up. The word virgin is Hebrew for someone who's not married. It doesn't mean no one who's not had sex.
So they're conflating the two, and they have nothing to do with each other.
Well, it's not that.
No, well,
There's a difference between a translation and an interpretation.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He who wins the war write his story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's history. Yeah,
Mhm.
you wins the war, you write it the way you want it to play out.
It's amazing how many things you read when you actually pay attention to it. You can tell it only benefited certain people.
Correct.
So that had to be who wrote that.
Exactly. Males. A man wrote
Yeah,
it.
because the people who didn't benefit would never wrote that shit.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Men wrote the Bible. That's why the women were stoned and talked bad about it and downed and everything. It was, it's a male dominant
They
society.
weren't looked at as equal.
Correct.
Because men didn't want them in that position.
And a lot of them was homosexuals as well, so they didn't even really realize what they had going.
So you think there was some self-hatred going on when they wrote Leviticus, when they were talking about the gays and all that type of stuff? Someone was hating on themselves.
Yeah, think about what's the and I used to know it like the back man, but I haven't really read the Bible in a while. But when the angels come and they knock on the guy's door, and they say, "Send that guy out." This is Lot and what's his wife? His wife she turned to a Philistine. So this is that story. They knock on the door, say, "Hey, man, send me that booty. Send me that man about that. I know in there." Like ain't nobody in there. And dude say, "I will give you all of my daughters." They say, "We don't want them."
Yeah. Why you say he wanted them for that?
Why should you be telling them to come outside?
You might want to beat them up or something. I don't
Nah,
know.
man.
I mean, see, you interpret
Because what
you interpreting that.
No, I didn't. Because why would you say, "I will give you my daughters"?
Because maybe he think they wouldn't do anything with them.
Nah, please go back and read it.
I'm just trying.
No, please go
I'm
back and
trying to
read
get a
it.
benefit
Go
of
back
the
and read
doubt.
it. Go back and read it, brother.
Hold up.
He said it says we would have
Hold
sex with him. It says we would have sex with him. It says that. He said you could have sex with my daughters.
But hold on, but was this looked at? Was the person who said this? Were they looked at as good people?
No, this was the town people.
But okay, so
This is all the people in the town.
I mean,
and then when they left, and that's what they said, don't turn back around. And then
no, but yeah, because there was a whole lot of wickedness and sex going on in that
yeah, this
in
was
that
called
village.
Sodom and Gomorrah, right?
Right,
But
right.
there's no other Gomorrah. There was Sodom. That's where the word sodomy comes from.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look it up, there's never a town called Gomorrah. It was never even a town called Sodom either. But the word Sodom comes from. That's where sodomite or sodomy comes from.
Mhm.
From that term. That's why it's called Sodom and Gomorrah. It was butt
But
fucking.
they weren't called Sodomy and Gomorrah. It was Sodom and Gomorrah.
No, I said Sodom. Sodom. I'm
Right,
from the
Sodom.
South. Yeah, I'm from the South. Sodom and Gomorrah.
Hold on, but is sodomy a bad thing?
But it can be.
It depends on who's
Yeah, I
doing
guess
it.
who's the giver and who's the taker?
It can be a beautiful thing and
Yeah.
it can be horrible.
They say depends on what side of the coin you on, I guess.
End of the sticky. No, okay, strike that. Didn't want to say that. No pun intended at all.
Zero.
No,
Yeah, depends on you pitch it and you hit it.
I mean, it's we would if I want to say that if the God thing was a real thing, we would be in a better society. But
Well, I just
that's not
call him
even
the
true.
creator. That's not even true. I just call him the creator.
It's
The
not
creator
true.
of all living things. The creator did his
But no,
job
hold
by
on.
creating us.
Hold on. So oh, you said if there was a creator.
No, it is. There is
so,
a creator.
So how do you know, as far as creation goes, that was a who
Correct.
that initiated? How do you get to the who
Well, because we're
part?
here.
That doesn't mean something couldn't have happened.
Well-
When you say who, that implies an intention. So,
Well,
and
regardless.
I don't know where you can get
Yeah.
intention out of creation. Just
Well,
because something happened.
this is just what I believe. I just believe
And I'm wondering
something
I'm
had
wondering-
to have happened.
something,
for us to be here.
We can agree something happened.
Yeah.
Now the what?
I don't
happened
believe in the
or
Big
how,
Bang.
or
I don't
how.
believe in it. I do believe there had to be some intelligent species.
Where do you get that from?
Just a belief.
though?
That's what I say.
I'm
Just a
saying,
belief.
What
Oh, from looking
what
at
things
from,
justify that belief in your mind?
the fact that female being impregnated from semen and a seed, and then a child is incubated within the womb. Any female, it's across the board. Every female has the same capacity to give life.
If they're healthy.
Correct. Well, of course. Of course, if they're
Because you have a lot of women who can't have kids. So.
Well, you know that, Rizzo. Of course, I'm talking about if they're healthy.
Okay, but you extrapolating much farther than what we are right now. Okay, we know what we have here in our reality. The genesis of how it all happened is where the mystery goes. Anyone who makes an assertion about how things were created,
No, I agree with that.
they have a burden of proof as far as how do you justify that?
I can't equivocally account for anything, but what I just give you from what I feel and
Just
what
your
I
thoughts
think.
on it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it just has to be some sophisticated, because you look at wind, you look at water, you look at life in general, skin, hair.
No,
Like you just look at these
But
things.
but those are atoms and everything just
Great.
coming together. Now we come from the idea based on human understanding that we say something can't come from nothing, as if there was always like it was a nothing at the beginning. We don't
Yeah,
even know.
we don't know.
It could
Correct.
have always been here.
It could have.
And you think over the millennium, billions of years of particles and atoms and elements interacting with each other, repelling or coming together. At some point, things will come together and start to build because they are conducive to each other.
Correct.
So if you put things, if you create the right environment, and we have a vast universe,
Yeah.
where at some point something's going to gel together in the right environment and space to make things happen that wouldn't happen in any other place. Doesn't mean it had to be intended. It can be happenstance. It's like if like I heard who was it Neil deGrasse, and he said if you took 100 people, we can take 1,000 people in the auditorium, have them flip a coin. All right, so everyone has heads stand up, everybody has tails sit down. All right, tell them to do it again. Boom, same result. Stand up, sit down. And eventually you'll get to the point where it's one person.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to that one person, that person's going to feel special. Like out of all the things that are going to happen, but it was inevitable at some point when you have the different variables that is happening. At some point, something happens. And since this is the existence that we know about, of course we're going to feel special. Of course we're
I
going
was
to
going
feel
to say, but
purposeful.
not when it just comes to the human body. When you look at the human body,
How long does it take to make it though? We don't know how.
Yeah.
We don't know how long it could have taken to get to this.
I agree with
We
that.
just know what the result is. Like, oh my God, this is fascinating.
beautiful.
But and someone said, it can't all be random. There are a lot of things that happen that end up, like I said, fortunate for us, because if we were in another part of the galaxy, we couldn't survive, and it would be unfortunate for us.
Yeah.
but we are fortunate enough in this space.
Because look at that though.
Mhm.
Not to say like I'm not into the old earth, travel and all that, but I don't know if there's other life. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
what would be the odds though? Like you say, the odds for us to be on this planet, for us to breathe, for us to to do what we
Like-
do,
like I
to
said,
see.
We're in the Goldilocks space.
But to see, you know, from having a child being conceived
Mhm.
to growth, that's just beautiful. Like that doesn't
It's
seem like,
nature.
no, it is, but it doesn't seem something that would just randomly, you know, happen. Not saying it couldn't.
Mhm.
I just say it doesn't seem that way
It doesn't seem that way.
to me.
To
To
me-
some, it could.
I'm one of them.
Because you see ugly guys with beautiful chicks all the time.
How does it happen?
How the hell did that happen?
I couldn't tell you.
I stay coochie down to the
I
stars.
couldn't tell you. I don't even.
Rings and
I
watch.
don't know how I've gotten some of the ones I've gotten.
Me neither.
It's,
I wonder.
it's the height. When you're 6'8",
Uh-huh.
you get. Hey, it
They want to know the truth.
I get married.
Is the size 17, 18,
Yeah.
the big hands, the 6'8", is it truly a myth?
I just tell you, it works out.
Yeah.
It works.
It
It,
works.
it works out. It works out for me. For me. Now I'm aware of. So I've seen many videos where
Yeah.
where he's like, huh? But it works.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate that that it worked for me. You know what I'm saying? But and for me, it was random.
Yeah.
Like you get people who want to brag on their sizes, and I'm like, what are you bragging about? You ain't got shit to do with that.
Zero.
None. You bragging on happenstance.
Yeah.
Just be fortunate. Just be
Yeah,
happy.
just be happy that happened,
that's
yeah.
you. Don't,
But I'm still mad the guy shot me 4 inches.
he short
I
you
should have
for-
been 6'3". That's all I wanted. 6'3". 6'4".
And you know what? The reality is I wish that I was regular size. For the simple fact, like you said, fitting in. Our society is created for people your size, not created for my size.
When you
I'm-
say that,
I'm-
I've
I'm
always
the-
been inside, so I don't know the parallel.
I'm the anomaly.
Yeah.
They don't make things for 6'8" people.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
you know, we gotta go to the special section.
Yeah,
every
yeah,
day.
big and tall,
But
yeah.
but everybody else get everything. You know, they get to go to the rack.
can.
You know, even the way places are built, they're built
Yeah.
for regular sized people.
Yeah.
Now,
Cars, everything. Yeah.
absolutely. So I have to adjust to your size.
Yeah.
Because that's what everything is made for. Unless I get a whole bunch of money, then I can kind of scale things.
Correct.
And
Well, it only
I
came
look
to-
forward to that too.
Well, I guess I only looked at it when it came to basketball. Other than that, I never think about it.
And-
Yeah, I never think about it.
And he think people were born tall to play basketball.
Correct.
Oh no, just the benefit of what happens in that
It
particular
is.
arena. But
It's stupidity of some of it because I thought all Chinese people knew karate too. So, you know, it's okay. It's okay.
That's real talk. That's real talk. In elementary school, I used to play marbles with this little boy that was in my school. He was an Asian boy, but he used to come with, you know, he had the pencil packs and stuff. You unzip it and all the stuff in there. He used to always have money in it. He said he had 20s and 50s, and I was like, where's that boy getting his money from? I mean, we wasn't nothing about 7, 8 years old, and I'm thinking, and in my mind, I'm gonna take this money from him. And one day he had the pack open, and I go to reach it, and he reached back like, oh!
Yeah.
I stood back real quick.
That's it.
I want no problem.
I'm cool,
I
guys.
watched the
I've
whole.
seen way too many kung fu sad flicks
You're not
to know how this go.
You're not- I knew he knew karate. I just knew it.
Well, James Brown said, I don't know karate, but I know crazy. Yeah.
He had that down pat.
I know it on everybody. Age Chris is funny. You know, he ended up going to the all-white high school, and they picked him on the basketball team.
You know shit about basketball.
All black people don't know, are not athletic whatsoever. Yeah, there's a lot of stereotypes that you
Yeah.
know. It's for
Yeah,
some,
we don't-
it's
we all
funny,
know-
and some
we
it's
all know how
not.
to steal cars.
Yeah.
You know,
It wasn't in college, man. I took a psychology class that I realized stereotypes was negative.
stereotypes.
Stereotypes are negative.
Mhm.
Yeah, stereotypes are negative. Like at first, you never thought about it like that. I never thought about it like that.
And you think how you say it's negative? You say you've learned this.
I learned it in college, yeah. Because to perceive anything about anyone, that's where the word prejudice comes from. You're prejudging them.
But it's not always a bad thing.
Well, It is and it's not. It is if you don't fit the bill.
No, well,
Like you're 6'8", you can hoop, right?
No,
But what if you were 6'8", and you had no athletic ability?
No, but what if someone thought better of you because of something that didn't apply? Is that a negative?
It could be if you were put in that situation and you could not live
And
up to the task.
And you was expected to.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like, hey, Tyrone. Justin and I, we wanted to get this rap battle going.
Correct.
And I know you're pretty good at it. You're
Yeah.
pretty good. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm pretty
I don't know
good
the
at it.
rap. You know, that's why they say Asians have like a high suicide rate because they're
Agents?
Asians.
Oh, Asians. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Because of the thought process or that they should excel in math or in whatever the culture.
yeah, pressure.
Yeah. And then when they don't, that's what, you know.
And that's the only place that I know of that actually has that built into their buildings where they have nets and stuff like that to stop people from jumping out buildings. I never even heard of that until I actually saw it. I'm like, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
They
I didn't know that. That's
you didn't know? Yeah, they have some buildings
where is it? In China?
where around the building is constructed where they have nets that like for anti-suicide.
Hmm.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that's deep.
Like I said, pressure can bust the pipe and it can also break down the brain.
Yeah.
But
Well,
pressure
make
can
diamonds.
also, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I say. You make diamonds, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to know how to apply the pressure.
That's right.
And,
Or make pearls.
and know who can stand the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it built up and brought down Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Like the pressure put on him put him at such a different level in the area of music.
Yeah.
That, for me, that was a true genius of music, you know. And but as far as other aspects of his life, he
Correct.
wasn't adjusted at all.
But you never had an opportunity to.
Mm.
That's what I was saying about when you leave the house, about maturity. Now you don't have to be that. You can.
You say you have opportunity. At what point do you have opportunity? Isn't it once you leave your parents' house? Do you have
Well,
opportunity then?
But by then, he was already on that stage, and then it becomes habit for him as well. All he did was music in the studio. And so until he made it to a certain area where he don't have to do that no more, that's when he resorted back to being like a child.
Mm.
What other grown man do we know? No, I'm just saying. I'm just talking about facts.
Mhm.
And I can look at and I don't know, but we can look it up.
Mhm.
Who else, as a grown man, built an amusement park at their home and invited kids?
Not at their home. I know Walt Disney did it.
Yeah, no, I'm saying at their crib though, at their house.
Well, I mean, well, it doesn't mean anybody that people didn't want to do it. I mean, a lot of people
No,
could have.
I ain't
done it.
saying want to. I said
He
did.
did it, but that what made him different too. But he
But
could,
that was a-
but he
that
could,
was a
he
true-
could have easily done that and not been weird, as far as
But he didn't know.
well, just that's what happened.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that because he had the ability to make it a music part and have fun and everything, and because he had the resources to do so.
But it
He
aided.
wanted to do what he wanted to do.
But at that time, that's what I'm saying, because it aided to it. If I don't have an opportunity to do this, when I do, I'm doing it.
Do you think at some point he was physically touched as a kid that made him to where he didn't deal with women as much as he did? Supposedly
What
with
he
boys.
talked about, he wasn't touched, but living on the road, he had older brothers, and he was in the room and saw
But there
them.
were women though, right?
Yeah, they were.
So
Well, I don't know about the boys. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Because anyone can look at me and you right now. We can walk outside, see a shooting, whatever, and then someone asks what's happening. We can have two different accounts based on the way that we perceived it. Because it could have been from a safe, and it was very religious. They were Jehovah's Witnesses,
Mhm.
you know, and so a lot of that, looking at the story, just doing it, a lot of that they say came in.
And I'm wondering, how could they have even been Jehovah's Witnesses? Because and growing up, my brother was dating a woman. Her family was Jehovah's Witnesses. They couldn't even have a TV in the house. How do you go from we can't have a TV in the house, but they would always come to our place and watch TV. And at the time, I didn't understand. I was just pissed that they come turn the TV when they came over our house. but knowing as far as they're following their religion, they couldn't have a TV. How do you get a whole entertainment business when you can't? You're not supposed to do things like watch TV.
Well,
Like,
it
how
may
can you
be
practice
it
this?
may be something different though.
Jehovah's Witnesses?
I mean, in general, like it's not electric. It's not. They're not using power.
You making videos? You doing songs
yeah.
and all?
I'm not Jehovah's Witness, so I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, it's like when you say you have the Amish people and they can't do electronics, but you see some of them have cell phones and all that type of stuff. They still
Well,
gotta
now
take
they
care
will have to because
Yeah, take
there's
care
no
of business.
there's no payphones anymore.
Mhm.
So back then they didn't have to because payphones, but society has changed.
No. Those people didn't have phones in their house.
No, I know it, but they could have used a payphone. They could have easily drove somewhere and used a payphone. Now
But
there aren't even payphones.
No, but if you have people who don't drive cars, they do the horse and buggies.
Bro, they ain't
And-
doing the
and-
horse and buggies no more.
They
man.
still do.
I'm saying it, but in certain aspects,
You go to
change.
You go to Utah. You will still see
All I'm telling you,
communities where they still have horse
they
and
may
buggies.
around that, but all I'm saying is, you jump on the expressway. It's gonna take you forever to get to work in that horse and buggy. It's gonna take you forever.
They do it.
You can't have no meeting. You're gonna have to leave 2 days before to get to the meeting. It's just some things it's a little easier.
You gotta tell them it's on Thursday.
Yeah, you gotta, yeah.
And you know you beat on Friday.
Correct. They gotta leave Wednesday. Yeah, they gotta leave Wednesday.
Keep them on time.
Oh, Malachi. I don't know what they do.
You
That's
call
what I'm
him
saying.
Malachi.
I don't know what they do.
The only Malachi that I actually know about is from Children of the Corn.
I know he was crazy. I know that.
Malachi.
Yeah.
And wants you too, Malachi. And that's the only time we know that name.
Yeah, that's it.
Children
Malachi.
Children of the Corn. Children of the Corn. We were traumatized as kids watching them damn movies.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch scary movies.
You didn't watch scary movies. You still don't, or you just
I
didn't?
still
get it?
don't.
No, you scared of them?
Mm-mm. They're just goofy now. Cause like I'm not scared. Like you know.
So you never seen like Halloween?
Yeah, it's not a scary movie to me.
What?
Halloween is not a scary movie to me.
How? You
I
got someone
don't know.
stalking you and killing you, and that's not horror? That's not horrible?
It's not.
It's not
It's horrible. Like I mean, and like I don't know. Like even Freddy Krueger. Like that was funny. Like,
He
that
was
was
more
comedy.
than
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Jason wasn't no joke.
but it
Friday 13th wasn't no
Yeah,
joke.
Friday, but it wasn't a scary. I guess I never looked at it as a scary movie. Like I saw him coming. Like he never came up out the blue and just.
Shit.
Saw would be more of a scary movie to me.
That to me, that's a psychological thriller.
Yeah,
For me,
Yeah.
it was gruesome.
yeah, that's what
It was more
I'm saying.
psychological.
Saw would be like
Mhm.
you saw Jason coming. Like he never killed you without like
He didn't run, but he popped
nothing.
up.
Yeah, and then he always kicked the door open. He stayed right there for like 10 seconds. You looked at him, he looked at you. He never said nothing for whatever reason.
That's the scariest thing in the
But
world.
you just didn't have good feet. You kept slipping and falling. You need to be killed. Or if you're running, you couldn't have thought that was a good hiding spot. So I guess that's why I never, once again, I grew up in a neighborhood where it was gangs, drugs,
You knew how to get out
gunfire.
of, you had to get out of problems.
You know what I'm saying? So when I saw that, I was
That's
like,
the problem.
"Man, I'm really not scared.
Because there aren't.
I'm not scared of a guy with a knife
There aren't really.
that's 10 feet from
no
me.
horror movies in hoods.
There's not.
It's called real life.
Yeah, exactly. That's the horror.
I mean, the closest they got to the hood, which was Candyman.
Mm-hmm.
But and the thing was, Candyman in the hood, we knew about Candyman.
Correct.
It's like the Bloody Mary. Like you would never go in that bathroom or in the
Yeah,
closet.
turn the light out.
You would not say that shit 3 times. I wouldn't do it right now. Still, I wouldn't do it. And I know it's urban legend or whatever, but I still won't even dare do it.
Yeah, and that's why I say it's pros and cons, brotherhood, man. Like, sometimes you don't even know when to be afraid. You so used to
stupid like
you know what I'm saying? They shooting. You come outside. Man, what is that John them now? Shoot.
Hey,
Mike, put the gun up for the
Hey,
laws coming
hey.
around here.
I was just telling my son right, when it was after school, after college. I went to Baltimore to one of my former teammates to where he lived at, and we be hanging out on the street where his people was at, and all of a sudden somebody started shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody breaks out running. I look over to see what's going on. He's like, Renzo, get your ass over here. I'm like, no, I'm just trying to see what's happening. And that was the weirdest shit in the world. He's like, everybody running. So he's like, so stupid ass. He go look. He go walk over there where the shooting going on. Cause
No.
I wasn't alarmed or anything.
Correct.
It wasn't
It
something.
was gunfire.
Yeah. It didn't put me on high alert. I'm seeing what's happening, and I'm good. But they hear pop, 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 pop. They gone. That may be bad on my part.
Us. Because the exact same thing happened to me 3 years ago.
Mhm.
I used to hang out the spot down to, in the South.
Mhm.
I was second. That's a little spot. My boy used to own it. And then he sold it, but I didn't know he sold it. We still up there kicking it right after the fair. We all out here. It's a store. And then on both sides, they got car wash. It's a car wash directly behind the store.
Mhm.
But on this side, it's 3 bays. And on this side, it's like 4 or 5 bays.
Mhm.
So we parked out like this. So about 20, 30 feet back from where we're standing, this dude is being murdered. Right? So you're hearing pop, pop, pop. But it sounds like firecrackers.
Mhm.
Sounds like firecrackers. I turn around, it's 30, 40, 50, everybody's down. I'm the only one standing up. I'm doing like this, like what's going on? I turn around, man, it's a dude literally behind me. They say, you in South Dallas, nigga? They shooting, get down. Say, a dude came with an AR, a Draco. Boom, boom. And that's when I knew they were shooting. Man, that boy, I'm saying the concrete, everything got to moving. A rock hit me in my foot. Oh, I thought I got
You get shot.
Oh, I'm hit. I'm hit. So I'm hit.
Somebody call the ambulance.
I'm like, oh, nothing. But hey, I got up out of it like Spider-Man, falls down and got on up out of there, man. And that was the last say, hey, guess what? Man, this hood stuff ain't beatable, man. It ain't crap. Because
You lost your awareness.
I'm
man.
not even, it wasn't that. Just growing up, I've heard gunshots so much. I don't panic. And that's a sad
That's
thing.
probably because nobody was shooting at you.
No, it wasn't.
If you grew up somebody shooting at you, you would.
No, it's different.
react
Yeah,
accordingly.
no, they wasn't shooting at me. The neighborhood I grew up in,
It was part of the environment.
it was part of the environment. So I would always hear gunshots. When we first moved out, me and my wife, when we first moved from the south side, we moved to Meadowbrook. It took me 2 weeks to go to sleep. Ain't no sirens, wasn't no helicopters, wasn't no
Wow.
gunshots. Like, it's too quiet over here.
You weren't used to peace.
Wasn't used to being silent like that.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
And you know what? It's people. It's people. It took you 2 weeks. It's some people that live in that state, right?
They love it.
No, I'm saying where they're not comfortable at where nothing's going on.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
so they
It's
have
called
to, they have
crisis
to,
addiction.
right? They have to go to where
They
some
love being in a crisis situation.
Mm.
Yeah, they addicted to
they
crisis.
learn to function in that space.
And if they don't have it, they
They're
create it.
Exactly.
They're created.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sad thing.
It is.
That's a sad thing. When you can't learn to enjoy peace.
They never
Peace
had
is a
it.
beautiful thing.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
It's a
It's
beautiful
lovely.
thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, a marriage, everyone has their own. I've been married, man. I truly enjoy being married. I love my wife. Like, I love being married. It's cool. We chill, man. We laugh.
You think it's a good thing? It's cool.
Yeah.
So what you're saying to these guys and women out here who just got to be out there, you know, they got to have a different person every other week.
Well, do it.
And everything. So you said they haven't learned what peace was, what
No,
peace is.
that might be their peace. They might get comforted by
Is that chaos?
It could be. If it's only chaotic if you approach it as if you are my only one. But what if we talked and I told you I had multiple women or I've had multiple men, and I gave you the option to choose to be me or not.
But the manipulators in us don't want to give us those options.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's when it's different.
Mhm.
But if you give me the option, then there's no conflict.
Right.
It's only conflict if you, baby, you on the one. I ain't messing with nobody. Then you looking, you got 5, 6 texts and missed call. Like, that's when it's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
But if you simply say, nah, baby, it's cool. We just kick, we chilling. If it's cool, we cool. If not, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if you comment and then you just know what it is.
So what if you just want to hit right then? And you know,
Well, I don't know.
And you know it's gonna blow the whole game up. You say that.
That's weird to me. I've never, like that's one thing I've never understood, man. I've never.
Because you guys are people that ain't gonna accept it, but so you gotta like ease them into it.
Yeah, but
you gotta get them on the hook first, and then.
yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. That's the game, though. So then you can't be mad at the fallout.
Mm.
Yeah, because you never gave them opportunity. That's why they say you lied to me.
Right?
Yeah, but if you never lie,
I've been there. I've been there and dealt with some consequences. To the
mm-hmm,
point where it got me put into a box.
mm-hmm,
And people were like, oh, no, she's crazy. And I was like, I ain't gonna call her crazy. What I will say is, what I have realized is, you don't get to hurt somebody and dictate
Correct.
what the response is.
that's
You don't get to do
Preach,
that. You
preacher.
can't do both.
you can't,
So you pick your poison.
you can't.
You know,
And because you
and
created
people,
the hurt.
and people think they got that control. Like they can tell you, it's like they can punch you in the face and tell them how to get the lick back. No,
Yeah.
you don't.
Yeah, you don't get out. Yeah.
If you get a brick picked up and hit you, it bust you across your head.
But once again, it's game though.
Mhm.
That's one thing I guess. I also grew up, in the hood, which was a negative, but then it was positive as well. Is you understand what game look like. I understand game. Like soon as it's coming, like it's not even. It's like I know it's game.
Look, that's how a lot of people take advantage. If you get someone in the inner city who's been experienced around, and they find someone who ain't from around here,
Correct.
and you know they slow.
You green.
Yeah, right.
They gonna get taken advantage
Yeah,
of.
you having a field day because you don't know game.
Yeah.
You know, so and that doesn't even have to be. I don't know. If it is taught, but it's not overtly taught to you.
Yeah.
It's what you learn and just experiencing it
It's
being around
both.
people.
It's both.
Yeah.
Because they can tell you about it, but until I can see it and experience it,
Yeah.
then that's when. Because at first, you're taught to look for the good in people.
Mm-hmm.
And no one,
Hopefully, you got any kind of good. Decent
yeah. Well, I mean, on average,
Mhm.
no one tells you, look for the bad in people. Everyone says look for the good. So that's what you do. Even if you see it going a certain way, you still hope, think, and believe that there's some good in it. That's why people stay in religion. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I've had a number of conversations with women who were dealing with this person or that person, and as they're telling me about the experiences, what's going on, I'm peeping game. As soon as I hear it, it's just a couple of things, because I tell people, humans don't change. The only thing changes is names. But we've been doing the
Man,
same
the
thing since the
process.
beginning of the
Yeah,
time.
the process is the same.
Human behavior has not changed significantly at all. So for me, once you start a story off, 9 times out of 10, I can tell you where it ended.
I know exactly
I know where it ended.
what's gonna happen.
But they think they might have put give you something new, and you're like, nah, I know this, because it's gonna go a couple ways. You only have a couple different outcomes from this. It's not this whole big wide variety of things. No, it's only a couple things
It is.
that happen from here. So when they're giving me these things, I'm trying to hit them up on game.
Yeah.
Okay, so he said this is what he said. He did what? Okay. So what typically is going to happen here is
Correct.
this is what you're going to see. This is what you're going to
Let
hear.
me run it down.
And then they're like, nah, he wouldn't do that. Nah, he would. You really think so? I'm just trying to tell you.
I start
More
betting.
times than not, they come back. You know what?
I
I
start
don't
betting.
like you. I'm like, why you don't like me? Cause you was right.
I start betting them.
Stop it.
I bet you $50.
Exactly.
Because I want you to have some invested.
But how many people are gonna be honest?
All of them.
Especially if they're gonna lose.
Well, all
they,
of
they
them.
might not even
Because
tell
it's
you.
my homegirl.
They might not tell you.
Now they gonna tell me. Because you the one called me and told me about it to begin with. Like if you don't tell me this, I don't even know nothing that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta finish the story. Yeah, you ain't gonna come back.
Yeah, you got
You
to.
know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You got me invested in it now.
Yeah, but you can't fabricate happiness either.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can't fabricate happiness.
It's like when like for me, when someone does tell a story, my mind goes. It starts running together.
Mhm.
For me, it's like a cogwheel that connects to other cogwheels.
Correct.
And when you tell me something that doesn't make sense, it gives me a kink. Because you just got here, you just got this different destination from where you started, and it doesn't end there.
It doesn't.
So you missing something. There's something you left out of this, and a lot of times people tell you stuff. When they try to
They'll
make somebody,
tell you what they
try to
want
make
you.
somebody else look
Correct,
bad,
yeah.
and you like, no, because
No.
you don't get here without you having to
Come
done
on,
something.
boy.
And
tell
they
people
try to
all
run
the
it. They try to run it.
Say.
When you got someone who's intuitive and experienced,
All my pops.
can't do it.
I tell them all the same thing. Man, I've been knowing you 20 years. How long we gonna go with this? How long? Because I keep listening, you know. But how long?
I'll be here.
Yeah, but what point do you know I know you lying? Because at some point you gotta know.
Look, you want me to tell you what you did?
Exactly.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
I can feel it. Ain't none of it. I'm gonna be all on point too.
I tell them cut it out, man. Coupon. I just say coupon now. Cut it out, man. Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Mm-hmm.
Cause they,
I ain't buying it.
They swear they want you to be on their side, and they gonna shift the narrative.
Always.
But
Our hoes ain't shit.
But if you got sense, when you hear, you like, nah.
But come on, boy. Our hoes ain't nothing. All of them.
Every one of them, they all dirty, huh?
You the common denominator, brother.
At some point, where did you come to the
Yeah. What did you do? Well, I'm just saying she. Good. Cut it out, man. Cut it out.
Take some accountability,
Please
man.
do. They cut it out. Because in the end, everybody, that's why I say I don't care what no one says. Everybody wants to be with someone. But because a lot of people have been hurt. They have been played. They have, and so that's what's really leading towards the reluctancy of, you know, traditional marriages or relationships, whatever you want to say. And unfortunately, the kids are being hurt, you know, because parents now are passing down those relationship traits.
Mhm.
Don't trust nobody. Everybody's out. When in the end, everyone isn't out to mess over you.
But everyone is going to manipulate you.
Well,
all
that's just
are-
game. I mean, that's just. I mean,
We do that by nature.
yeah. All just to see how far, or if you're on point.
Look,
Are you listening? Are you paying attention to what I'm saying?
I had someone that actually, a friend of mine, got upset with me because I said everybody uses everybody.
They do.
And they couldn't understand that because for them to manipulate is a negative term. I said no, it's just the proper usage of that word.
That's it.
We all, from the time you're a child, you learn how to manipulate to get what you want.
Correct.
You know, it's how you communicate. You know, it's what we. For anyone you have an interaction with, it's something to be given and something to be taken.
That's life.
You have to, and if I want something favorable, I have to behave in a way that's going to get me what I want.
Correct.
There's just it doesn't have to be nefarious at all.
That's life.
Absolutely.
That's what a relationship is. Mm-hmm. Nobody pays all the bills because they want to pay all the bills. You pay all the bills or you do whatever. So you can keep your mate happy or whatever you do in a relationship. Like no woman cooks or clean or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Everyone does something for something in return. That's what a relationship is about.
Mm-hmm.
But it's about being equally giving, not a one way.
And it could even be internal. Like I can do something nice for someone else because it makes me feel good. But in that dynamic, I need you to receive it in order for me to get what I want too.
Correct.
So it's still.
But even if it's for down the road,
Mm-hmm.
like we're friends. Like even if it's down the road, and I need you to come get me. Like something happens, I'm not doing all these friendly things.
You can't have a toxic relationship with me and expect that.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. If in the event, if I need you, I would hope all these other good things that I've done and built a relationship. Correct. That now that I do need you, it would pay me in the end. Yeah, that's life.
And you're not explicitly doing it for that, but
In the
event.
Sometimes you are, sometimes you aren't.
Yeah, because you don't necessarily have a.
I got several friends that I've been nice to, and I've never called them and need them for anything. If there's some friends I've had, and I've called them more excessively than I'll call others.
And even with that, even with bonding with other people, you bond with people that you get along with.
Correct.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So you have those people around because they give you a sense of joy, a sense of peace, or whatever you get it, that's not considered a negative.
Yeah.
Which is why you keep them in the circle.
In the circle.
You know. But you do have some people who know that there are some bad things about them, who show you good things as an investment, so when the bad things come out, they're still a
It's a
bond.
wash. Yeah, it's a wash.
That sucks.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
because they know.
it just depends on what is the level.
Because we all got some people that can do some stupid ass shit.
Correct.
But that's still your peoples.
But that's what I'm saying. It just depends on the level of what has happened. Because some things I can accept, and there's some things I'm like, say, man, We can't, you know, we
That's
can't keep
not,
doing this.
that's not, well, that's not the kind of person you are, but we know many people who have somebody come knock on your door and like, yo, I just shot somebody, you know, we got to dump the body. Oh, come on, let's go get it. Like, I couldn't be in that situation,
Nah.
but you have people that are.
No, I agree.
You know, they accept it and you're like, oh, fuck.
No.
We down to the end, man.
What about it?
But I can't be down like
No,
that.
no. You could say, you use me as your alibi and say you came by here, but that's far as I got you, gangster.
Hold on.
Yeah, he came by here.
Hold on. What is it like a family member, and you know they got into it with someone, an accident happened, and
Yeah, he came by here.
and you had to help him.
He came by here.
That's
That's all I got.
That's- you can't-
Because in the end, I got to think about my wife and my kids. I
Mhm.
got to think about me as well. And I do stand by this principle. If I'm no good for me, I'm no good for anyone else.
Hey, that's the truth.
Yeah. So I did got this little deal about selfishness. Like, what changed my relationship with my family is when I said I'm selfish. But I'm talking about it to this point. If I'm
Have to get to an
thirsty,
extent.
but if I'm thirsty, I know you're thirsty. So when I go buy soda, I buy a variety of different sodas. I know what I drink. I know what you drink. So I'm gonna go buy mine, but I'm gonna buy all yours as well. If I'm hungry, I'm gonna get.
Chances are you hungry.
And me and my wife used to talk about this because where she grew up, whoever was eating, everybody ate the same thing.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't grow up like that. Like whatever we was eating, you know what I'm saying? They knew certain things I would eat, certain things I wouldn't. So I never was forced to eat whatever everybody was cooking. So when I had kids, they're not either. You're not forced to eat because I don't eat that. So why would I force you to eat something that I don't even eat?
I'm halfway like that.
Yeah.
No, like for me, I think
I'm not gonna go out the way.
I was forced into cooking for other people.
Uh-huh.
There was a time where if you want something, you get me some cereal or whatever, and you eat, or if once, and I think I was able to actually cook something by the time I was like 8 years old, 9 years old, able to actually cook. And then we got to a point where for Saturday morning, I'm getting up, I'm gonna make me something to eat. I get on the stove and make me something to eat. And then, my mom would smell it. What you cooking in there? I hope you make enough for everybody. Cause that wasn't I didn't go into, that wasn't my game plan going in. I was gonna make a little bit of something and go sit my ass down. Now I gotta make food for like seven different people. But then it got to a point where I went into it knowing if I'm gonna make me something to eat, I was gonna make everybody something. And then I started to enjoy making sure that everyone else ate.
Yeah.
And then it just became how, and it started with breakfast. And anyone that's known me for a while who's eaten breakfast that I made, they remember. Because I have people, like we have a friend, if I were to go to their house and go get something to eat, if I make any comment about any of the food, anything, it wasn't going to be taken well.
Mm-hmm.
I could not even mean it in a mean way. It's just the fact I said anything. And I'm like, it was hard for me to understand that. I mean, I get there are people like that. But for me, if I'm making food that other people will be eating, I do want to know what they think about it.
I do too.
Because I want them to enjoy it.
I do too.
You
I don't
know.
want to waste it. If
Right.
you don't, like,
And
something like
I'm not going to say
onions
just don't
and
eat it. I really do want you to enjoy what I made.
I'm the same way.
So if you say, hey, and when the flavor in here, I'm taking it into account because I give a fuck because you can't. Hey, but some people they don't want to hear
But-
nothing.
But what I tell people on that end, you always can add flavor afterward, but I can't take it away.
Right.
So if I cook a large, I don't put as much seasoning because it's easy to add and just take away. But like, I can't digest bell peppers. So when they cook meatloaf or anything, well, it gets me indigestion.
Okay.
Whatever it is, it gets me indigestion.
Mhm.
So
That's funny. You learned that. I
Yeah.
bell pepper anything.
yeah. No, I'm just saying. So if they make meatloaf. Most people put it in meatloaf.
For me, that's kidney beans.
Yeah. So my wife, she knows that either put mine to the side or I won't eat it because I know it's gonna give me indigestion, and that's fine, right? Yeah. You can't.
Absolutely.
We don't live in a concentration camp.
Like India,
But that's what life is about, compromise. And I guess that's where me, and I don't know if it's my sign or what, like, being an Aries, I'm just so uh, cachet with stuff. Like I'm cool with whatever. I don't really have too many qualms
You're
on
free
any-
flowing.
Yeah, I'm a love child. I tell you, I'm born in '76, man. I'm a love child, man. That's all about love.
I want the harmony.
That's
I want always
it.
be
That's
alone.
all I want. I don't want the rest of it. You can have it, you know. But
Because
even
it's not even necessary.
that caused dissension in my own, life because I didn't know how to look and give somebody else harmony. I just knew how to
Have your
achieve
own.
my own. Yeah. So in a relationship, being with someone so long, you have to learn and listen.
Now it's being considerate to someone else now.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And understanding what makes what always makes you happy doesn't necessarily
And
flow that way.
And that's what I had to learn in recent years as far as a relationship is concerned. I was having issues in relationships because I wasn't considerate of someone else.
Correct. That's what I'm talking about.
And once I learned, it was easy. It was easy once the concept, once it clicked. Because not that I don't want to be, it just wasn't a thought.
I just wasn't thinking about it.
Right,
Correct.
right. It wasn't. And some people don't think that's a thing. Like it's possible to totally just you didn't consider it because it wasn't on your mind.
Oblivious. That's it.
Yeah, and not because you didn't want to. Not even necessarily being selfish.
Wasn't.
It's just but once it's on my radar and that's what I want to do.
But I get it.
We all happy.
People, and that's how you say women, but it's people because I start hearing my guy friends say the same thing, but they wasn't saying it like how females said it, but they're saying it. They want to be considered. They want someone to think about them as well.
Right. The language
But
is different.
The language is different, but you're saying the same thing. Yeah, and that's what everybody wants to be, thought of and be considered equal and be loved and all of mushy.
But if you want that, you have to be willing to give
Oh,
it
you got
too.
yeah, you do.
You got to be willing to give it.
Life. One of my
Because there
favorite
truly are
songs.
some selfish people.
One of my favorite songs is my girl. I keep going blank, but it's the life. Lauryn Hill. Reciprocity. Yeah. What does it take for me to get reciprocity? And that's all everyone's looking for is reciprocity, man. That's it.
And it's not a tough thing if you actually care about other people.
It's not.
Yeah.
But first you got to care about yourself. A lot of people don't love themselves or know how or understand truly what love looks like.
Well, I would say like we like to put the word, we like to say love, and we like to put it in the box and think that this is what love is.
Correct.
It's not just one thing. It's not
It's
a
not.
one size fits all type thing.
It is not.
And, for me, I've learned in recent years that love is actually, for me, it's an action word.
It is.
It's not.
Love
it's
is
not,
a word,
it's not
man.
Just, it's not just a sentiment.
It's not what you say. It's what you do.
What you do, the way you behave, the way you treat others. You can treat someone with love. Just because I can say I love you, but if I don't treat you well, I'm not displaying that love that I
You
say I
don't.
have.
You ain't loving me.
Right.
It's game. Once again, it comes back to the game.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
like
right.
you said earlier, you can't say you love me, but you hit me in my eye. Every day you come in, you smacking the hell out of me.
But then you think about it. How many people have grown up in households dysfunctional and they learn that's what love is?
Well,
Because
that's what leads me
example.
back to what I was talking about earlier. A lot of people don't know what true love looks like. That's what I was referring to.
They think
If
if
you grew up in
if
a
you don't
farm-
raise your voice at me, then you don't love me. If I don't
Yeah.
get an emotional response out of you,
Correct.
push your buttons, then you don't really feel anything.
Yeah,
Right?
that doesn't make sense.
It's not what it
It's
is.
really supposed to be the opposite. Like if you going up and I don't want to escalate, I'm gonna.
Right. We can't both be up there.
Correct.
Somebody got to come down to bring
Somebody
you back.
has to come down. Because a lot of times it doesn't really be that serious. A lot of it miscommunication, misconceptions, or past experiences that someone else did.
And it triggered something.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And it triggered, it reminded you of an emotion that you had, and now you feel this way.
You
think-
projected it onto this other
That's
person.
right. You transferring. That's it.
We got to get past that. I mean, hell, I did not know the conversation we were having was going to go this way.
Yeah.
I thought we was going to cut up a little bit more. I didn't know you was going to get into the intellectual with me.
Oh, well, my bad. You know what I'm saying? That's just, unfortunately,
I love it.
No, that's what I was going to say. Unfortunately, until people know me, and then you can get this shot.
I know you have it.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were going to have it now.
Oh, okay,
But,
yeah.
but I always enjoy it. I know you got plenty of fucking stuff. Plenty sense. You know, but it's like with people who've been around me but not really talked to me.
Correct.
Say, you know, they think
You have
"That's
an
a
obscure-
silly guy and he's cool, but then when they really get talking,
That's me.
they're like, I didn't know who
That's
you were."
yeah, that's me.
They throw them off.
Cause that's the side.
I like being silly. I like having
I
fun,
love
laughing, and everything. I love that part of it. But when it comes down to really connecting and communicating, I can do that.
Me too.
I can do that.
That's it. This is truly who I am. Like that's what. How you doing it? Because at home, this is who I am. Like we sit around talk, like I ain't sitting around hustling and joking all the time. It's just when I'm out. I have been a father since I was 18, man. I've had to be serious. So when I'm out with my friends, I'm out with my friends. You know, I'm just tripping, hanging out.
You want to laugh. You want to
Correct.
enjoy. Yeah.
Because when I leave them here, I'm going right back to the serious life.
You're being real responsible.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, here, we just supposed to be tripping outside and bullshit. Hell, I'm out with my boys. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah. So you know, like you said, we had another friend, and I had to explain to him the same thing. Like when you met me, every time you see me in the backyard barbecue.
Mhm.
What do you think my demeanor is gonna be in the backyard barbecue, bro?
We're not talking philosophy.
Correct. You know what I'm saying? Like during this time, I was in education. I was a principal. So do you think when I get off and I take the suit and tie off and I got on flip flops and a Jordan shorts and t-shirt that I'm gonna be back here being presidential? Nah, I'm tripping. I'm drinking. Yeah, we got Crown. Yeah, we chilling. We got barbecue. We got music. Tupac banging.
We about to cut up.
Yeah, I'm cussing and saying, yeah, every word in my mouth. It's motherfucker. I love saying motherfucker, but
It's a time and a place.
it's a time and a place. Yeah.
Mhm.
I love saying nigga, I love saying motherfucker. Just, I do. Yes, do I know the history of the both words? Yes, I do. But unfortunately, I didn't learn it until later on. Now it's just a part of
Yeah.
my makeup.
But again, you can choose when to say it, when you
Correct.
can't, when not to. You know. And
From the uttermost to the guttermost, man. We can go down through any literature, whatever.
Oh, even with that word, you have you can get an idea of how many people have no clue what context means.
Correct.
None. Because you can hear people because the fact they heard a word,
Yeah.
it sets them off. Irrelevant to what the context of it was, and he's like, how do you have a response from the word when it wasn't even the way you took it? It wasn't even given that way. It
But
wasn't.
think about even a week or 2 weeks ago, we was over someone's house, right? And they thought I said, and that's not even what I said. But that so what
They were triggered.
sums up correct everything from your childhood to certain things trigger you based on what someone else projected on you, and so you automatically go to defense mode, and that person didn't even. But what if I would have been an asshole
That turned up.
and want to, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know what I'm saying? I'm so cool with everything now. I'm like, no, brother, that's not even what I said. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was a point in my life though. I would have been like,
No,
no, I'm just saying.
I would have been a diffuser like normal.
No.
Because I'm listening to it.
Well,
I'm
we both would have
I'm
been younger though. So no one even in the room would have even been cognitive to be that way.
No. I'm always like if even in my 20s.
Oh, for real?
If I would have, because I've never been a turn up person like
okay.
that.
Okay.
I've never been on 10.
Oh,
No. You could purposefully be trying to get me to 10. I'm not going because it's just not my demeanor. It's that's how I am. I don't.
I was not calling that.
And yeah, because
I'll be your huckleberry. I'll
Because
be your huckleberry.
if I'm arguing, I'm not even mad.
Correct.
You know, for me, it's mental exercise. It's a challenge to go back and forth. You know, with our views. Some people they get emotional. If I get emotional, it's excitement because I'm happy because I get a chance to say what I think or you know to give you the reasons for this and argue your point. What you know you're saying this and why this doesn't sound right and because I can articulate, I can verbalize. And the thing is, what makes a lot of people uncomfortable and angry is because they can't.
Trust me.
When they can't use words, they want to get physical.
I'm surgical with
You
this
understand?
goddamn thing, boy. I'm surgical.
I've hurt many people's feelings just talking to them.
Well, boy,
Not even being mad.
my boy Lonzo on training day said I'm surgical with this bitch. This mouthpiece, that's what I say.
Yeah.
Talking, say man.
That's what I tell you, right?
I'm Gucci
I
with
can
it.
hurt you with my mouth.
I'm Gucci with it, man.
Touch you.
Hey, and a lot of people say that you just be. It's not that. It just I read a lot. I like talking. I just want to know what you're thinking. I don't even.
Absolutely.
I just want to know what you're thinking. What's your thoughts on this? How do you feel when this happens? What goes on?
and that's me. I'm genuinely interested in how
Mhm.
people think.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? What causes you to say this or do this? Like that stuff is intriguing because it teaches me about humans, like people, and everyone doesn't have that fascination as far as just interacting and
Yeah.
learning. People, I mean, people do it instinctively, but some to different degrees than others.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's like
That's my wife.
People will get upset. People will get upset because I can have my argument from my point of view, and once you start talking, I can take over your argument from your point of view and argue your point for you better than you did.
Correct.
And
Because I've read both of them, and I don't even understand. I don't even agree with you talking about. I just done read more information about it than what you have.
I can articulate what you say better than you can for your side of it.
Listen,
Even
my
though I
wife-
don't agree with it.
My wife is a genius, but she just doesn't like talking. But she come in and route your, you know what I'm saying, network your computers, hook your home network, but if it came to her verbally telling you what, she wouldn't do it. Come in, got a party, she can party plan, decoration, she's a realtor.
She's a doer. She don't talk too
Man,
much.
That's it, she a doer. She's not genius. But when it comes to verbal, I'm the other way around. A lot of talking, I probably won't do nothing.
You probably tell somebody to do it. But she ain't gonna physically
Man,
do
so-
it.
I'm the other way around.
Let me talk you through it.
Man, let me walk you through this thing. Let me show you. Let me tell you exactly what it is you need to
The
do.
minute you touch the motherfucker, shit go
It's all
happen.
going down. It's all going down for
I
me.
get it.
That's where it stops at.
That's like, I don't
I'm
want
gonna
to
take
do it,
20 breaks and everything. Ain't nothing gonna get done.
but let me talk to you. I'll get you all the way through.
I can tell you exactly
no
what
break.
it is you need to do.
No break.
Tell you, hey, tell you
Wonder,
where to go.
wonder why you taking the break.
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly what it is you need to do and how to get it accomplished. Everybody need the car, materials, everything. Yeah, I mean, shit.
It's a shame I understand it 100%.
I'm intellectual. I'm intellect.
I understand.
That's what they told me. Go to school, do this, you're gonna do this. That's what I did. I said, they got me. They lied to me.
They
They lied.
sucking
Man, they sucking me, man. Promise when I go back out there, HVAC technician, man. The plumber.
you gonna learn the trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would.
I want HVAC. I would literally either HVAC. I say plumbing, but I can't stand the smell of boo-boo, so I couldn't be a plumber. But a HVAC or something dealing with cars, technology, you know what I'm saying? Build computers, something like that.
You like all the mechanics of everything.
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, the way it works. Like once you know how something works, oh man, yeah, that's simple. I have somebody dropped out in there for the muscle. So I gotta torque it. Hey, come over there. But then when he come back to putting it together, then he come and torque it back. Yeah, we gonna break this boy down and yeah. HVAC, man. I would be an HVAC technician.
For my day job, that's our whole customer base for the most part. HVAC dealers.
Yeah.
We do their marketing online.
Yeah.
I
Texas, baby, everybody.
I used to be a gas man. That was a weird experience, but I had to do what I had to do. So I'm in people's backyards, I'm in their, I'm in their basements, I'm in their attics, and you think me coming in there?
Oh yeah.
6 foot 8 walking in there, like,
Oh, I was
what the
like-
hell? I talked to, it was
Especially in the hood.
Yeah, I was,
Now these eyes out here, you good.
yeah, I used to let it get in and get out. You know?
Yeah.
I went to one guy's house, and I was taking care of his. I was getting him installed in his gas on, and we got into a conversation, right? And after about maybe like 20-30 minutes of us just talking, he asked me. He said, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this? You have no business doing the gas. You should own a company or something. Like what is going on? Like eventually I'll get there. But he was a business owner, and even with my boss, my job now, in working with this, seeing so many different business owners and hearing how they talk, I realize how many people own businesses who don't know a lot.
Oh yeah.
They do, but just in the dialogue and hearing how they think, they're just trying to figure their way around. But they have the title
Correct.
of boss, CEO, or whatever it is. So it gives them an air where people who don't think they can be in that position.
Yeah. Most of them just have the money.
they bow down.
Yeah, there's everybody. Yeah.
You know, so when you're having a conversation with someone who actually does know,
Mhm.
and and for me, and him having a conversation with me, he's having the conversation, but he's looking at me. He's like, "You're out of place, though, because the conversation I'm having with you should not be with the gas man.
Yeah.
I'm used to this type of conversation with someone
Correct.
in a different position."
On up. Yeah.
Yeah, he said, "It don't match. It don't match." I'm like, "I get it. I get it. It's just like I used to be a bodyguard. I used to be a security guy, right? So, and during one of the shifts in the evening, I was working the back door of the venue we were at, and me and the guy, we had nothing to do with nothing going on in the back, but we just been talking for about an hour. We're talking about people, human behavior, and all that type of stuff. And after we got to talking, he says what was your major in college? And I said, "Oh, I majored in theater, man." He's like, "Theater?" He said, "Okay, I went to school for psychology. And everything you just said to me, I had to learn it in school.
Yeah.
And you just routed it off." And I was like, "Oh, it's just the way I think." I don't know the term that they've gotten correct, but I understand the concept of it because it just intuitively, and it comes.
It makes sense.
And it comes from just my observation of people.
Yeah.
And just the way I process the information, I can say it out. And now once I say it, now you can say, "Oh, there's a term for that." "Oh, you know the term." I mean, I already knew it before that. So when people look at me like an athlete, I like laugh and joke and everything. But once they get down into real conversation, they're like, "Oh, I didn't even. This doesn't sound like it should come from you, because that's not the person that I know." And I'm like, "Yeah, you'd be surprised."
It's probably because you don't have a mustache.
Got a booty from got a booty mouth. Look different.
That's probably you ain't got no stash. That's probably what's going on.
Oh, do I need one?
Nah, you good.
Somebody
You
said,
where you are, man.
somebody, I saw some people, the people who were preaching on the street, they do the
Israelite.
yeah,
Hebrew Israelite.
They were doing the whole thing, and then he said, he's like, yeah, I can tell you, lost young man. I can tell you, look at you, ain't got no hair. Look at you don't have on your face, on your head, or nothing. They ain't the way a black man's supposed to look. I'm like, so I gotta have hair. And if you knew who you are, if you knew who you was, and you knew where we came from, and you know your position where God has you, and I'm like, And he on the megaphone too, talking to me.
Yeah.
But right now I'm thinking like, I got a lot of questions for you, brother.
Yeah.
Because we finna get into it. So I started asking questions, and then he did the whole, brother, and the other dude can turn pages.
Yeah.
Read. He said, and he said, what? And start reading stuff. I'm like, yeah, but that don't make no sense though. I understand you followed it. But none of that had nothing to do with what we talking about.
Zero.
You're not talking to me because you didn't answer my question. I just gave you. And they don't. But for anyone who does, any people who do that, and they got so much energy in them, and I'm like, you can't get me to where you are verbally. But if the entity that you say exists is actually real and active in our life today and has will, it would already, and if it created us all knowing, all powerful, then today what's going on, the way I think, who I am right now, was predetermined and created that way. So I'm not doing anything different than what I'm supposed to be doing.
Correct.
So, and the fact that if I end this life and I'm punished for being exactly who I was created to be,
It wouldn't make
I
any
wouldn't
sense.
want to worship that anyway.
It wouldn't even make sense though.
Period.
You can't say on this end that I had free will and that I'm punished for having free will. Like my mama said, but my mama ain't got a curfew, then I get home at 2, I'm in trouble. I didn't have a curfew, but it's the same thing.
No, you got free will, but you didn't do what I wanted you to do.
Well, that would eliminate the word free then, or will.
Like what? or you know, God, we have free will, and all He does. So a miracle is literally God coming in and intervening with the consequences of our free will. Like, are we supposed to have it, or are we supposed to live with our decisions, or not? Or at the time when Pharaoh was going to let the people go, but God said, "I'm gonna harden his heart," meaning you changed him for what he was going to do, so you could do some other stuff. Took away his free will.
To Pharaoh, then
Right.
you're gonna release all this pestilence and all this other stuff. Like,
Because you wanted to show off some more.
yeah, that's not.
But
That's game.
in order to you have to not be a critical thinker in order to enter into that realm.
Well, it's a
You got
two-part
to
though.
suspend belief.
But it's a two-part. Like
Oh,
everyone
suspend
knows
reality,
about
I should say.
coming in and the people, with Constantine and all that. But also I look at it like you said earlier. There are some people that has to be told, if you don't do this, you're going to go to
They
hell.
need it.
Because it may be people just running them up, just
Mhm.
doing whatever.
No, you have people say, if there was not a God, if I didn't think there was a God,
Well, that's
I
something-
would do these things.
Well, I think they look about the
And
hell,
those
the punishment versus
And those people, I would say, if that's what it takes for you not
correct.
to, keep doing it.
Whatever it takes for you to be a better person, knock
Mhm.
yourself out.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Because some people believe in leprechauns, so hey, whatever you need, gangster.
Now, if it was being a better person, I'm cool with that. Because you got people that believe all type of things, and it keeps them at peace, it keeps them in harmony with everybody, and that's the space that they're in. I'm like, cool. But then you got people that tell you that they follow this holy book, and they're still no different from anyone who the heathens they're talking about. Like you,
Well, correct.
yeah.
Well, that's what I say. Whatever helps you be a better person.
So you think they're even worse.
But if this is not helping you be a better person,
I don't get it.
yeah.
But then they throw out the nobody's perfect. They put the perfect bar out there, like everything below that is acceptable.
But it's game. I promise you, guys, I can't get away from this game because anyone who says that or anyone who utilizes that term, no one's perfect, or we all fall short of the will of God. I know it's game.
You know they said you have to.
I know it's game, gangster. It's game,
You let
cuz.
me know you about to fuck up.
It is, because whoever brought up perfect to begin with. As much shit I've done, do you think that's on my radar? Perfection?
They ain't never been your goal.
Come on, cuz. We all fall short of the wheel. Come on, cuz. You knew what we was going for. You know what I'm saying? So, as I said, I just be cool with it. I just cool with
I
it,
love
man.
it. I love it. Yo, we gotta do this again.
I'm ready.
Let's
do it.
We gotta do this again.
Let me know.
Kenny Wayne.
That's right, baby.
In the house, he came down to chop it up with your boy Zoe. This is What Does Zoe Know? And we just wanted you to be, a fly on the wall and just listen to us as we just converse back and forth.
That's it.
And it's just thinking what we thought. There's a lot of other things that we can get into and talk about, and we will over time here. But if you have something that you want us to talk about, some questions you want answered, you can email me at whatdoeszoknow@gmail.com. Again, whatdoeszoknow@gmail.com. And if you got a story you want to tell, and you want us to do a little bit of introspective work on it, and talk about it. Maybe it's something you want to know what we think about whatever's going on. Just shoot me an email or in the comments if you're looking on Facebook or you're looking on YouTube or what have you. Just go ahead and hit me up, and we can see where we go from there. Can they find you anywhere, Kenny Wayne?
You know what? I need to give me some followers. So at the current time, I'm not prepared, but the next time I will have Facebook, Instagram, and email ready to go. Insane with Kenny Wayne, or AKA the Little Doctor, will
That's
be
what's up.
full in effect.
And I'm really interested in the advice what the love doctor has to say. So all you ladies and gentlemen out there who have something in the area of love, whether it be,
My relationships, anything.
relationship, I can say anything. Just go ahead and hit me up, and we'll go ahead and we'll explore that. But until then, I appreciate you for joining us for What Does Zoe Know? I'm an insane Kenny Wayne,
That's right.
the love
Peace.
doctor. Peace out. For me, I can just tell you what I think, but hey, what does Zoe know? You know what I mean? So.
What does Zoe know?